and we would also like to introduce Agatha Sangma. Thank you very much for joining us. Let me quickly give you an update also from what we are getting in Meghalaya. This is an exit poll company called Matriz, which says that the TMC, last time we did not have the breakup, now we do. The TMC could make a gain on 8 to 13 seats, the BJP on 6 to 11, the Congress on 3 to 6, and the NPP on 21 to 26 seats in Meghalaya. Others about 10 to 15. So this gives you a clear picture or an idea of what's going to happen in Meghalaya. And as Sanjay Hazarika was saying, that this is not an absolute majority, but you know which way the wind is blowing. Agatha Sangma, your thoughts, your observations?
Well, we just casted our vote today, and like our Honorable Chief Minister has already stated, we are extremely confident. And Sanket, your exit poll is giving us about 26, but we are quite sure that we would cross that number and we would be able to form the government on our own. That is, with the blessing of the people of our state and with Almighty's blessings. And we are quite confident that that is what's going to happen. So,
and,
yes,
and if that does not happen,
all I can really...
you see, this time around, you're not in an alliance with the BJP. So do you think that this will be the coming of age of the NPP?
No, sir. In fact, last time also, when we fought our elections, we did not have a pre-poll alliance with any political party. All the alliances were formed only post the results. And, if a situation arises where something like that needs to happen, then that would be decided post the results. And I'm sure, I'm sure we can wait for 2 days to determine that.
No, but then who would you want to consider as your natural ally? You see, NPP has been...
I'm not in the position to, I'm not in a position to really say that. But yes, we have like-minded parties and allies. I'm sure we would be able to,
Let me ask you this question. See, you've been a part of a central government, Agatha, and
yes.
The TMC was also part of that government. The TMC, according to one exit poll, could get about 8 to 13, and that's all you need to cross the majority mark. Could this be an option that you may want to consider?
Well, I think you better ask the people who are contesting this election. I am today not in a place, it's not my personal election, though I have campaigned as if it were my personal election. But, our Honorable Chief Minister, our party of our President, he would be able to, give you a much more solid answer on that. But
you hope that you will sail through on your own, that you will not require an alliance partner.
That is what we are hoping for, and we are quite confident that that is what's going to happen.
Okay, all the best for the 2nd of March. Thank you very much, Ms. Agatha Sangma, for joining us.
Thank you so
very much. Result for I keep saying a result. You know, this is such a result day syndrome. Exit poll for Nagaland is also out by this company called Matriz, which gives the BJP plus NDPP 35 to 43 seats, which means that they have already formed the government. And that was, Nilanjan, pretty much on expected lines.
That's pretty expected, yeah. I think so far, I mean, exit polls are not the results, but if you were to guess, I think the numbers that we're seeing are sort of what we were kind of guessing would happen. The only thing that is perhaps somewhat more surprising or interesting at least is what we've seen in Meghalaya, where where we often think of a Khichdi kind of hung parliament kind of situation, kingmaker, where one party may get past single party mark by itself or get very close, therefore has a lot of bargaining power in that system. That is a little bit of a change from the past.
Do we have Matthew Anthony, spokesperson of the Congress party? Hi, Mr. Matthew, how are you?
Sanket, thank you for the long wait, maybe because of the numbers which you're seeing.
My apologies, but let me ask you this. So in Meghalaya, 3 to 6 for the Congress party, according to one exit poll. In Nagaland, 1 to 3 for the Congress party. And in Tripura, 0 for the Congress. Your alliance may get around 6 to 11, but you personally, the Congress party, 0.
On the numbers, I think there's an exit poll, this is a prediction. So I would stay away from commenting on that one till the original results come. I was in Meghalaya in charge of the media and communications campaign for 48 days, traveling across the state. And Northeast is unique in its perspective because every state has got its unique culture, ethnicity, the tribal traditions and all of the things like that. No national party can claim an absolute control over these ethnic cultures there. So the regional parties will have a definite say, and I don't see a clear-cut mandate coming in at least Meghalaya for any particular party for that matter. We are going to see a hung assembly there, and there will be post-poll alliances which is going to shape up. And we expect much more numbers than what you have predicted for Meghalaya in the exit poll. Tripura also, we have given a good fight, and the development story which is being told by the BJP, this is from my personal experience. I was in Meghalaya. In the Shillong airport, you only have an 8-hour flights coming in and landing. There is no direct connectivity from Shillong to any of the major cities apart from Kolkata and the northeast cities. The roads in Meghalaya is very bad. You go to Garo area, the Khasi Jaintia, apart from the major Shillong city and other areas, you see the roads are really bad. What is the infrastructure which we are speaking about? We forget about, there is a tendency in all of us to speak that, that India came into existence, or Northeast development came into existence only after 2014. You see, post-2014. You see all the institutions which is there in the Northeast. The Northeast development, the NEC, the NDC, the IIMs, the IITs, everything, it's just been from the Congress government. Yes, we agree.
No, but
that
then,
we were not
Matthew, you see, the
yes.
point is, what you say or what you believe in may or may not be true. But what does the voter believe in? What is the perception that is out there?
The perception is, Sanket, there is a lot of muscle and money which is in play right now, which we have not seen in the elections before. There is an abuse of power, there is misuse of power, there is so much of money which is flowing in. My question to all of you here is that, where is the source of this money? How can so much of money be coming out into the market?
Matthew, am I to assume that you have already started talking about money, muscle power? Am I to assume that you are counting yourself out in some cases?
No, not at all. I was telling about, I was referring to one of the panelists' comment on Tripura, where he said that there is no other opposition party and the campaigns are there. We were there. We were very much in the ground.
Okay, quick right to reply to Mr. Manas Dekha, and then we'll take a short break. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Congress says this is all smokescreen. There is no real development to show for, but you have so much money and muscle power that you sail through.
Okay. So if we see post before 2014 and if we see 2014 to till now, Northeast has the major problem of the connectivity and the infrastructure, which Honorable Prime Minister always says it. He says that highways, Hira, it's a Hira, highways, then internet, the railways, the airways. All this infrastructure and the connectivity has gone to such a wonderfully. Because of that, investments are coming up. People are happy. People are living there. A lot of people have come back to our state by looking at the infrastructure development, what had happened. Medical infrastructure has gone up. Education infrastructure has gone up. Investment infrastructure has gone up. MSME infrastructure has gone up. Every sector and unit has grown up. So I don't, agree what our friend, Mr. Opposition friend is saying. There is no development. If no development, then why they are not able to connect with the people? Why then BJP and our partners are able to connect?
Money and muscle power.
It's their purview. It's their purview and their view. We have not seen anywhere, and people don't have seen anywhere. It is their purview and their language.
Okay, yeah. We'll take this discussion forward. Let's quickly stop for a short break at this moment as we are waiting for some more exit polls to be able to get a picture or to present to you a poll of polls. There have to be more than one. Right now, we just have one each for each of these states. Short break, be right back.
$11,000
Cross the distance between darkness and vision. Teach a generation that has lost all hope. Treat a patient from thousands of miles away. None of this was possible
till technology stepped in and made it possible. A selection of the finest stories from across the country where technology, comes with a human touch.
Unleash your dreams with Snapdragon in collaboration with NDTV, only on the NDTV network.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love.
Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love.
You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
Legacy is often seen as a burden of expectations. It comes with its own set of challenges. The challenge to take it forward, challenge to reimagine, challenge to be in the present, and also challenge to think about the future.
What accountability are you talking about?
As long as the core values and principles remain uncompromised. Debates are essential not just for journalism but for humanity. It ignites our mind, opens it up for counter-opinion. To hear all views, opinion of all hues. Which is why the oldest running debate show on Indian news television is not 22 years old, but it is young at 22.
इस इनिशिएटिव को मैं अभिनंदन करता हूं कि सच को सच के रूप में पेश करने का उन्होंने साहस दिखाया.
So let us begin the big fight.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story India is closely watching it. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
When a glimmer of hope gave way to a new global threat, we were there. As our soldiers squared off against a hostile neighbor for yet another freezing winter, we were there. When brutality overwhelmed justice and a mockery was made of the rule of law, we were there. When the death of our first Chief of Defence Staff united our nation, we were there. Hope, justice, the truth. Left, right and centre with me.
Welcome back. Some more polls have now come. So let's get you the latest. We have 2 for Meghalaya, 2 for Tripura and 1 for Nagaland. So the latest that has come for Tripura is on your screen right now. So we got you Access My India that gave the BJP a clear majority, 36 to 45. 0 for the Congress, but their alliance gets 6 to 11 and Tripura Motor 9 to 16. Now the latest poll for Tripura has 29 to 36. Again, they're showing the BJP as a victor, but the margins have reduced. And the gains, it seems, are going to be made by the Congress and the Left Alliance, whereas Tripura Mota is going to be in the same zone of 11 to 16. So this is interesting. Will this be a clear BJP lead or a lead by a slender margin? Because Tripura is a very keenly watched contest. 31 is the majority mark that is required. Soon we'll have another exit poll also for Meghalaya to see how that is going to happen. But you know, Smita, just a short while ago when we were discussing, we were talking about the Congress's allegation against the BJP that, money power, muscle power. Apart from that, let's assume if that happens, apart from money and muscle power, what is working for the BJP? Because now 3 different states, and this shows at least in 2 places that the BJP is going to form its government.
Well, the RSS, we forget, has been working in the Northeast from 10 years before independence. And it's gone about its job very, very methodically.
Very interesting.
First in Assam and the smaller states close to it, and later, many, many years later in Tripura. In the initial years in Tripura, they used to clash with the CPM's volunteers, just as the way you see in Kerala. And they were at the receiving end. But around when Vajpayee came to power, all the RSS organizations got a boost. And that is when the RSS began to sort of grow roots in a more sharper way. So they have worked among the Bengalis in Tripura, for instance. And what is interesting is in the Christian states, they knew that this RSS's usual message is not going to work. So, for instance, they don't talk about they don't talk about beef. They decided to put beef on the back burner there,
which is amazing, Mr.
Then
Manish Dekha.
in Nagaland, they pulled out Rani Gaidinliu, who was a Naga.
No, you look at the comment, for instance. Let me see if I can
they
pull
have
out that
different
comment.
ways of, approaching the population.
Manish Dekha, your leaders in, for instance, the Meghalaya BJP chief, he says, and I quote, "I eat beef, no one can stop it." Unquote. So rules applicable
in the Hindi
heartland for the BJP are very carefully relaxed when it comes to the northeast.
It's not exactly relaxed. See, India is a vast country, and we have beliefs, various beliefs. So BJP actually only walks the development part. Let us understand the very basic things, how we win the elections.
No, but then see, the cow has to be holy in
I'll tell you. See, I'll tell you how BJP win the election. That's very important here. Some opposition parties are saying it's very easy to explain money and muscles. But if we see that, the BJP is a very, very disciplined cadre party. If we see, for example, if we go to any election booth committee, for example, so suppose if there is 100 families, our party has connect with each and every families of the, there. And also we have, Panna Pramukh, which we always say Panna Pramukh. So we have a very strong baseline where we connect to the people directly with the welfare schemes by the central government. And this helps the people, it may be if you say the health, for example, Atal Amrit Health Yojana, so every yojana we have, or welfare schemes we have. And through that we connect. And because of that, people, when they have any issues, for example, LPG, for example.
How come it's not working for you in Meghalaya then?
No, we have started. That's why,
No, the exit poll says 6. Okay, 2 exit polls now. Meghalaya exit poll for Axis My India is also out, where the BJP is likely to get 4 to 8, Congress 6 to 12, the NPP 18 to 24, and others 4 to 8. So clearly there's a pattern. In Meghalaya, one does not see this, all the logic that you are giving me for the BJP's grand success.
See, I'll tell you, we were very new in that government only. The NPP was running the whole government. So, but since we have only started there, and through that we have done lot of development, and because of that, things are moving out and things are going faster.
You should have won.
No, yes, obviously it will come, definitely.
Okay, Sanjay Hazarika wants to come in. Yes, Mr. Hazarika.
Yeah, I wonder if people on this panel remember that Meghalaya is the only state of the country where a chief minister was decided by the toss of a coin.
Yes.
About 40 odd years ago, 45 years ago. And, it's been respectable. It was the first state to demonstrate that coalition politics could work. So there's something to be learned there, and it's nothing to be disrespectful of. That's one. The second thing, I think the BJP has been quite strategic, both in Meghalaya and in the other states. In Meghalaya, not just the non-tribals, but also the Sengkasi, the indigenous community, indigenous Khasi faith, is the group that they also appeal to and worked with. So I think that's had a considerable bearing on that will have a considerable bearing on the outcome, and seems to have a bearing on what you see in the exit polls. But as far as the others are concerned, there's a party called the UDP. It's a homegrown party, like the NPP, and it is likely to win at least. It had 4 seats last time, and it may get that or maybe more. And, Meghalaya, it's always not just a game of dice, it's those who choose well and work well together will form the government. And it may well be the BJP plus the NPP. There are no permanent enemies in politics, as we know, and the BJP was part of this government.
Yeah, they were, but you see, the NPP seems to be keeping it open-ended. We spoke to Agatha Sangma. She kept it open-ended.
Well, Agatha is the sister of the chief minister, so the honorable chief minister she keeps talking about is her brother.
Yes, we are aware, sir.
It's all in the family.
Yeah, so which way will they go? Will they continue to be with the BJP? In that case, it will be a
I think Mr. Deka should be able to tell us better than I can. He's a political animal, unlike me.
Who?
But I think that any party, that any coalition that gives stability, because if the BJP gets 6 to 8 seats, that's 3 to 4 times what it had the last time. That's a substantial increase.
Yeah.
You know,
so
we can't ignore that.
Two polls now each for Tripura and Meghalaya. The latest is by ETG Research, which gives the BJP 3 to 6, Congress 2 to 5, NPP 18 to 26, TMC 8 to 14, which is a very significant rise for the TMC, 8 to 14 if that happens. Actually, two polls give they put the TMC in that 8 to 14 bracket, and others about 12. So this is very, very significant.
But look at the TMC versus Congress split, right? I mean, remember that Congress sort of split away with Mukul Sangma towards TMC. So
I'm being told in just a short moment we'll be joined in by the Chief Minister. Okay, we have the Chief Minister of Meghalaya, Mr. Conrad Sangma. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Sangma. 2 exit polls, they say that you are going to fall just short, about 5 odd seats short of a simple majority. How do you look at these polls?
Well, we have been maintaining from day one that we expect to get higher seats than last time, and we hope to move closer to the halfway mark. And the exit polls seem to be suggesting the similar trend. And of course, we hope that the numbers are better than the exit polls. But then Meghalaya has never seen a single party government since 1972, that was in the 50 years back. And from that time, it's always been a fractured mandate. So it's very difficult for a political party to get full numbers. So let us see the real numbers when they come out, and then we will decide on how to move forward.
Mr. Sangma, as you say that the Meghalaya has never delivered a simple majority in over 5 decades. So I would like to ask you, considering that this trend continues, in that case, would you go looking for a new alliance partner, because obviously you will need one, or the one with whom you're already in an alliance with?
So as I said, that we will see the situation as it unfolds on the 2nd. And therefore, I mean, we are keeping all our options open, and then we'll decide on how to move forward.
No, when you say, Mr. Sangma, all options open, does that mean that the option of going with the BJP or with the TMC or with certain other smaller players, all those options are open, including TMC?
You see, we have always believed in one thing, that whenever we take any decision, whether it's as a party or whether it's as a government, for us the main factor is the interest of the people, and what is in the best interest of the people of the state. And therefore, we will decide that based on what is in the best interest of the state.
Mr. Sangma, why didn't you go into a pre-poll alliance with the BJP? After all, you were in a government with them. Now, many would see this as perhaps lack of confidence in an alliance partner.
So I just want to make this clear once again, that after I had taken over as the president of the National People's Party in 2016, after my late father, late P.S. Sangma, had passed away, I was very clear to the party leaders that as a political party, when we go to elections, we must not have pre-poll, because we are diluting our ideology if we do that. When we go to elections, we should fight based on our ideologies. And if you look at the elections since 2016 till now, all the elections, be it Assam, be it Manipur, be it Meghalaya, Nagaland, Mizoram, Arunachal, Lok Sabha, we have always contested on our own without any pre-poll. So this election is no different. It is based on the principle that we must go to the people with our ideologies.
And at the same time, if you fall short of numbers, then go looking for an alliance partner. Whoever gets you the best. I won't use the word deal.
See, we have to always realize. Yeah. So what is important to realize, that election is different from government formation, Now, in an election, if the people of the state give us a fractured mandate, then it is left to the political parties then to find out what will be the best possible way to give a stable government to the people of the state. So we have limited options once the mandate of the people comes in. But if the people give a mandate to us with full majority, then obviously the situation is different. So therefore, election fighting is one part, but if the mandate is fractured, then obviously we don't have a choice but to talk to people and other parties to find a way to give a stable government.
Mr. Sangma, you see, the BJP has often been accused by many people in the opposition, particularly in Meghalaya, of being anti-Christian. There were in the run-up to Meghalaya poll several poll issues related to corruption, scams and law and order. Reopening of coal mining has been a major poll promise of all parties in these elections. I want to know from you how much of this has had or did play on your mind when you decided to walk it alone or go alone?
So, as I said, when we fight the elections, we are fighting on our ideology. So, obviously, when we go to the people, we stick to certain principles and certain.
Would you like to specify what that ideology is?
Objectives.
Because in the national context, Mr. Sangma, the BJP very clearly has its own ideology. We know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So therefore, we have been always very clear that the National People's Party is working towards providing a platform for the Northeast. We have been very clear that the people of the Northeast have certain concerns and there are certain issues that are common to the states of the Northeast. We have felt that the Northeast normally gets divided among themselves and we are not able to produce the numbers at the national level to be able to give a strong voice. I mean, a basic political point. And hence, we have always worked with that ideology that we would like to be that platform. And while we have our own concerns as a state or as different communities or tribes, there are certain things that are common to all of us. And hence, if there is a political party that can then give the voice to the Northeast, then we will be able to address those issues at the national level. So that's what we have been trying to work towards. And obviously, the fact that the ideologies of different political parties differ. That's the reason why we are different political parties. And we may not agree on many things. But then that's how life is, and that's how relationships are, and that's how coalition is also.
Mr. Sangma is a tough nut to crack today.
But then in certain situations, we do have to work out.
No, not telling.
So we do have to work out a way to how to move forward. So that's how it is.
You're being a tough nut to crack today, Mr. Sangma, not telling us what your next move is going to be. Hopefully, on the 2nd of March, when we meet you, when we speak to you, we should have a clearer idea of which way the wind is blowing. Thank you very much, Mr. Sangma, for joining us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me over. Thank you so much. Bye.
Amit Barua, as well as Professor Sanjay Kumar, one by one. Yes, Mr. Hazarika, I'll just come to you. Amit Barua, let's first talk about Meghalaya only because we just had the Chief Minister. You think it makes sense for the Meghalaya Chief Minister to again align with the BJP? I mean, it will secure him from one, ED, CBI. It will secure him from 2, Operation Kamal, 3, certain other things.
Oh, definitely.
Plus alignment with the centre.
I think it's, it's much safer for any regional party in the Northeast to go with the BJP because it provides a certain bulwark against, defections, purchase, so on and so forth. But I think what was interesting in what Mr. Sangma was telling you, Sanket, was he said fighting elections is one thing and government formation is another.
Exactly.
Thing.
I found that really funny.
That I was trying to make to you earlier in the program, that the fact of the matter is that in states, in all these 3 states have 60-member assemblies. These are small states. Numbers can be very fluid. They can be very difficult to manage. Meghalaya, in a sense, is a good example. If the TMC does, make a good showing, I mean, in Tripura, the promise of the TMC has not proved to be what it was. But in Meghalaya, they have a big leader who came out of the Congress. So the point I'm making is that today the people in the Northeast, my sense is, and it's a broad brush thing when you say Northeast, they are looking for the same things that everyone is looking for in the rest of the country. They are looking for development, they're looking for jobs, they're looking for education, they're looking for good healthcare. And no political party is doing the people of the Northeast a favor by providing these services to them. These are things which are expected. This is something which is at the basis of governance. And I think that today the time has come that this yearning for change, whatever, whether it's the BJP or the Congress, I think people find, like in other parts of the country, that the Congress has not been able to deliver the goods. The promise and performance, there's a huge gap. Equally today, BJP has been in power at the center for 10 long years. The fact of the matter is that they have to also govern, they have to also give results, and the fact of the matter is they have the resources, they are far cleverer in fighting elections, and the determination to win, and with due respect to our Congress friend here, the determination to win in the BJP is much stronger than that of the Congress, whether it's in the Northeast or in other parts of the country.
Matthew, lesson for the Congress party to learn. But before you answer, Professor Sanjay Kumar, I wanted to get him in, and then Sanjay Hazarika also. So we have a poll of polls now, because there are 2 from Meghalaya, I believe 3 from Nagaland and 3 from Tripura. And Professor Kumar, in Meghalaya, the picture is now clear with the NPP in these exit polls at 23, the BJP at 7. So if they come together, that's a comfortable halfway mark. Then you've got the Congress at 4 and TMC at 11. So TMC is emerging as a good player, a good kingmaker, I would say, in the state of Meghalaya. In Nagaland, BJP, NDTV at 42, so not much to discuss there. And in Tripura, the BJP is at 31, Tripura Mota at 13, and the Left Congress combined at 15. Your thoughts, Professor Kumar?
Sanket, if you look at all the 3 polls in all the 3 states, I think the trend is very, very clear. If we look at Tripura, all the polls indicate that BJP is the single largest party, while there is some difference of opinion if we look at the 3 different polls, because one indicates BJP heading for a very big victory, and the one poll which indicates a very marginal victory or just BJP on the margin. But I think it is very clear that BJP is emerging as the single largest party in Tripura. If we look at Nagaland, I think we don't need to discuss that in terms of estimates from the exit poll, because all the exit polls are indicating in one direction that BJP NDTV alliance is heading for a big victory. The only question is about
in fact, they're increasing their tally. If this continues, that's an uptick of 12.
Yes. About Meghalaya also, I think the trend is very clear. All the polls indicate that Meghalaya is heading for a hung assembly, and all the polls indicate that Trinamool Congress is going to perform well. So I think all these 3 polls in the 3 states are pointing in one direction. Let's wait for March 2nd to figure out which poll came closer, or if we come to a situation where all the polls go wrong. My own sense is that all these 3 polls would be fairly close to what we would see on the 2nd of March.
Interesting. Sanjay Hazarika wanted to come in.
Yeah, I think, Sanket, one of the things that comes clear from this, that apart from Tripura, including Tripura, is that regionalism combined to a national cause, shall we say, is alive and well in the Northeast. I think that tells you very clearly in Meghalaya, it's the regional parties which will form a majority from this. In Tripura, the Tripura Mota has a critical role in the future, if not immediately. And in Nagaland, it is the BJP combined with the NDTV, which is a spin-off of the MPF, which is supposed to get very few seats. So that is a very interesting development. Apart from all the other things that you've said, the regionalism is there. Now, the other thing I wanted to flag to all of you was that coal mining, corruption, and the border issue with Assam were critical, and the inner line permit. These are critical in Meghalaya.
True.
because I once anchored a program of several political parties in an open field, and this came up repeatedly.
Yeah.
And what I was very encouraged was that all the parties said they were committed to good relations with non-tribals and peace and amity, because that has been an issue in the state and in other parts.
Right, right. All right, I've completely run out of time, but Munideepa Banerjee, do you feel that
Sanket, I need a minute.
A Bharat Jodo Yatra in the northeast is the need of the hour for the Congress party?
Isn't it so? I mean, I think we already have the Congress leaders talking about.
Yeah, they're talking about it, but you know, by then 4 assembly elections. One is Manipur, happened last year, and now 3 more. So 4 are already gone. Maybe let's see what happens in 2024. Thank you very much for joining us. We've run out of time. Do watch all the latest on ndtv.com also. News and updates continues on the other side. Stay with us.
11. Cross the distance between darkness and vision. Teach a generation that has lost all hope. Treat a patient from thousands of miles away. None of this was possible
till technology stepped in and made it possible. A selection of the finest stories from across the country where technology comes with a human touch.
Unleash your dreams with Snapdragon in collaboration with NDTV. Only on the NDTV network.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love. Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love.
You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
Legacy is often seen as a burden of expectations. It comes with its own set of challenges. The challenge to take it forward, challenge to reimagine, challenge to be in the present, and also challenge to think about the future.
What accountability are you talking about?
As long as the core values and principles remain uncompromised. Debates are essential not just for journalism, but for humanity. It ignites our mind, opens it up for counter-opinion. To hear all views, opinion of all hues. Which is why the oldest running debate show on Indian news television is not 22 years old, but it is young at 22.
इस इनिशिएटिव को मैं अभिनंदन करता हूं कि सच को सच के रूप में पेश करने का उन्होंने साहस दिखाया.
So let us begin the big fight.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story India is closely watching. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
When a glimmer of hope gave way to a new global threat, we were there. As our soldiers squared off against a hostile neighbor for yet another freezing winter, we were there. When brutality overwhelmed justice and a mockery was made of the rule of law, we were there. When the death of our first Chief of Defence Staff united our nation, we were there. Hope, justice, the truth. Left, right and centre with me, Vishnu Shom, Monday to Thursday, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
Cross the distance between darkness and vision. Teach a generation that has lost all hope. Treat a patient from thousands of miles away. None of this was possible
till technology stepped in and made it possible. A selection of the finest stories from across the country where technology comes with a human touch.
Unleash your dreams with Snapdragon in collaboration with NDTV. Only on the NDTV network.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love. Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love.
You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
Legacy is often seen as a burden of expectations. It comes with its own set of challenges. The challenge to take it forward, challenge to reimagine, challenge to be in the present, and also challenge to think about the future.
What accountability are you talking about?
As long as the core values and principles remain uncompromised. Debates are essential not just for journalism, but for humanity. It ignites our mind, opens it up for counter-opinion. To hear all views, opinion of all hues. Which is why the oldest running debate show on Indian news television is not 22 years old, but it
Good evening, it's 8 o'clock and we have an action-packed 2 hours ahead. First, of course, what's the latest on the exit polls? As 3 states have voted, 6 to go in 2023. Ankit and Sarah will have the full details on that. But also, we'll be looking at the other big political stories and what's happening on that. Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister, that's the big headline also, has been sent to CBI custody till Saturday. The CBI in court says Shishodia is the accused number 1. Manish Sishodia's lawyer argues is a Delhi Lieutenant Governor who cleared the policy file. AAP's nationwide protest today, opposition joins the chorus with them, but the Congress hasn't condemned the arrest so far. The BJP says if Kejriwal is honest, he must sack his Deputy Chief Minister. Exit polls show BJP plus winning 2 of 3 northeastern states. Tripura and Nagaland are projected to stay with the BJP and its allies, but they're losing Meghalaya. The polls show that BJP is winning Tripura, but a regional party is second. The Congress-left alliance is coming third. 3 states voting over, BJP focus shifts to state 4. The Prime Minister in Karnataka, there's a new airport and a roadshow in the BJP bastion of Belagavi. The Prime Minister's praise for ex-Chief Minister Yedurappa. The Air India CEO is exclusive to NDTV on the airline's mega plans. He also talks about behavior of passengers, saying our crew faces abusive behavior every day. COVID was caused by a leak from a China lab. A new report from the United States Department of Energy has these details. And 2 viral deliveries shatter the stumps. Watch Shaheen Afidi's pace.
A piece of wood left in his hand.
Our lead story tonight is the exit poll just coming in. And remember, this is the first round of the semi-final to 2024. So that's why every election, every seat, every state is being tracked closely. So Ankit, 3 states done. And what are the exit polls already predicting?
Well, if you go by the exit poll, and let me also give a word of caution to our viewers. In fact, the results are going to come on second, but the exit polls at this moment gives a clear edge to the Bharatiya Janata Party in at least 2 of the 3 states that had gone to polls. Tripura and Nagaland is going to stay with the Bharatiya Janata Party, though the BJP could be losing Meghalaya. But there are technicalities as far as Meghalaya is concerned, because NPP, the partner of the BJP, that they were in alliance for the last 5 years, both the parties fought the election separately. The NPP is emerging as the single largest party, just short of the majority. Though the BJP has enough numbers, if both the parties want to come together, they would be able to, in fact, form the government. Meanwhile, talking about the state of Tripura, where the BJP had a huge rise in 2018 from a 2% to almost 44%. It seems that the BJP is going to consolidate further in the state of Tripura. Poll of polls from the 3, in fact, exit polls of Tripura which have come so far, the Times Now, India Today, and also the Z Network, all 3 of them make the BJP alliance the single largest alliance, with 2 of them giving the BJP a majority, 1 just shying short of the majority. For the left in the Congress alliance, the Congress, in fact, in for a grand zero, at least that is the consensus as far as the 3 exit polls are concerned. Meanwhile, the left parties have also not been able to perform up to the expectations that they have. If the poll of poll is concerned in Tripura, they are down at least 9 seats. But the surprise factor is the Tripura Mota, the new party which has come across in Tripura. Sonia, it is leading out of the 20 tribal seats. It is expected to win 9 to 16 seats. So that is going to be a big jump as far as Tripura is concerned. Nagaland, it seems that BJP and the alliance partner NDTV are going all the way. They won't need anybody's support. Meghalaya still seems interesting, and that's the place where the TMC has been able to find some political ground as well.
That's really interesting because as you've seen them, it's a national party so far, it's the BJP, and when other national parties come in, who do they actually benefit? In a sense, does that vote consolidate to the national party? And the regional parties are really showing a strong showing. In fact, the BJP in Nagaland is because of the strong regional alliance they have there. So Himanta Sarma, of course, the master strategist of this area. Will it work for him? Will it be 3 out of 3, or will they lose the key state there of Meghalaya? But remember, exit polls are just projections. They should come with a very, very serious health warning. What the big story is also today, that 2 states voted today, Meghalaya and Nagaland, and Ratnadeep and Vedant were on the ground for that.
Crucial polls for Meghalaya and Nagaland coming to an end this evening. Days after another northeastern state, Tripura, also voted. Together, these 3 states have kicked off the crucial battle for the 2024 national election. In Meghalaya, polling in 59 out of the 60 constituencies witnessed a multi-cornered fight between several parties. The BJP made a strong pitch against its own ally, Chief Minister Conrad Sangma's NPP. The TMC has tried hard to win a state beyond Bengal. The biggest fight was in South Tura. BJP's controversial Bernard Marek, arrested last year, accused of running a prostitution racket, taking on CM Conrad Sangma.
In spite of we voting for this one CM, even myself, even my family, and even the voters of South Tura, all have been deprived, and we feel that justice should prevail.
This time we are seeing a multi-cornered fight, and the fact that there are multiple parties that are coming in, and in a way the parties which are against the National People's Party, which is our party, are many. So therefore the anti-votes that are there among who are there against us, we will see a split in that. So the fact that there are more political parties, I personally feel that it's going to benefit.
In the 59 constituencies, there are 369 candidates who are in the fray, including 36 women. And talking about women, out of over 21 lakh voters in Meghalaya, women actually outnumber men in this multi-corner elections between national parties and the regional parties.
In Nagaland, community prayers for a peaceful election, women voters in large numbers, and feasts outside polling booths. While the BJP and DPP alliance, led by CM nephew Rio, looks to make a comeback in the state, the biggest opposition party was the Naga People's Front.
What I believe is NDTV and BJP will get absolute majority. Right. So the need of taking others or not does not arise. In that time when the situation comes, if situation demands, then we will see.
NDTV and BJP alliance, they did their best to uproot this Naga National Front.
Right.
Because this is the only party which has its root on the Naga soil.
Right.
I said other political parties they fall under the category of tourism.
Much has been promised for the people of Northeast. Peace, development and bringing down militancy in this far end of India are some of the major promises made by all the major political parties in the fray. Well, what happens on the 2nd of March when results for Meghalaya, Nagaland and Tripura actually come out will have a crucial impact in the big battle of 2024. With Ratnadeep Chaudhary in Meghalaya and camera person Sanjay Chakravarti, Vedant for NDTV.
Well, moving to the other big political story tonight, and that's the arrest of Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister and Education Minister Manish Sisodiya, who's today been sent to CBI custody till Saturday. Today, across the country, the AAP held protests.
मनीष जी कुछ कहना चाहते हैं? Do you want to say something, मनीष जी? कोई मैसेज कहना चाहते हैं? आप हमें खत्म कर दीजिए, पूरी पार्टी को खत्म कर दीजिए, सबको जेल में डाल दीजिए. Is it not your duty to first of all sack the corrupt deputy CM? Any comments, sir? Any comments? Any comments?
So Arvind joining us for more, who's been tracking the story and first broke it. Arvind, in court today, we've seen heated arguments there between the CBI and Manish Sisodiya's lawyer about the point of who actually has responsibility for what the CBI claims is a scam. Just summarize for us what the main arguments were today and why the court agreed to the CBI demand of 5 days of custody.
Sonia, CBI, after arresting Manish Sisodiya, produced him before the CBI court, wherein the agency sought 5 days of custody on the main ground that Sisodiya was not cooperating with the investigation, and that seems to be the only ground the agency invoked while seeking 5 days of custody of Manish Sisodiya, wherein they also said that this case is mostly connected with documents. Documents are voluminous, and there are several statements that the agency has to confront with Manish Sisodiya, and that's why they sought for 5 days of custody. But getting into the merits of the case, the agency raised level 3 main allegations against Manish Sisodiya. One, the agency said that when the agency seized the computer of Manish Sisodiya sometime on January 14 this year, that's when the agency stumbled to an evidence that showed that the draft copy of the GOM, the group of ministers draft copy on this Delhi liquor policy, was retrieved from the system of Manish Sisodiya. But that's not the case. The important crux of this matter is that that particular draft copy had 3 important clauses, changes. One, the profit margin was enhanced from 5% to 12%. Second one, the ceiling of the eligibility criteria was increased from 100 crore to 500 crore. And third one, the legal opinion, the legal expert opinion was removed from the GOM draft copy. And that's where the agency sources say that this particular draft copy was not, it originated from the system of Manish Sisodiya, but not from the ministry. And that's where the agency claimed this entire changes made to the Delhi liquor policy by Manish Sisodiya's office himself, but not from the ministry. So it cannot be called as a policy decision. So and that's where the agency said that they needed to confront Manish Sisodiya with the statement and also with the evidence.
No, so let's just look, because Arvind, just taking up that point, because it seems to be a larger web that the CBI and ED are seeking to construct around the role of not just Manish Sisodiya, but also of Arvind Kejriwal. The AAP is saying, of course, that this is a diversion tactic, that this is not what, that there's not an ounce of proof is being done because the BJP is scared of AAP. But what are the actual proof? What's the actual proof the CBI has against Manish Sisodiya, and why are they questioning Arvind Kejriwal's aid as well?
On that particular question, Sonia, on evidence against Manish Sisodiya, this particular document that the agency retrieved from the system of Manish Sisodiya, according to the agency this particular document originated from someone outside the system. The company, in fact, according to them, the group gave this document, they drafted this entire policy in order to benefit them, so that in turn they can give kickback to Aam Aadmi Party. And that's where the agency wants to question Manish Sisodiya, because this particular file, the copy of the file didn't originate from the ministry, but from the system of Manish Sisodiya, and that's where they want to question Manish Sisodiya. Coming to your second part of the question, that even the Enforcement Directorate also questioned the deputy or the secretary of Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal. That is in connection with the statement that has been given by Samir Mahindra, according to who is also an accused in this particular case. He has given a statement saying that Vijay Nair, the Aam Aadmi Party functionary, he facilitated a call, video, and FaceTime call between Samir Mahindra and Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, and that particular call was routed through the phone mobile of Chief Minister's Secretary Vaibhav Kumar, and that's where the agency questioned Vaibhav Kumar also. Vaibhav Kumar is not the only person who has been questioned by the agencies in this particular case. Even Satyendra Jain has also been questioned by both CBI and ED in this particular case, and also Jasmine Shah, another Aam Aadmi Party functionary, has also been questioned by the agency. So what we are being told is that the agency is looking into the role of senior Aam Aadmi Party leaders, including the Chief Minister's Secretary, Deputy Chief Minister Satyendra Jain, and also Kailash Gehlot is also another person who is also under the radar of the agency.
If they're going by this, the CBI seems to be looking. 2 of 7 ministers of the Delhi cabinet are currently in jail. They're now expanding that web further. But the point remains, How much of this can actually be proved in court? Is it about the process being the punishment? Well, opposition parties have also come together to back Manish Sisodia, saying that this is a complete violation, this is an undeclared emergency. Even the Congress, whose local leaders had supported the arrest yesterday, today issued a statement condemning the investigating agencies. Also, the BJP, who is called Manish Sisodia the Sharab Mantri, is now saying that if Arvind Kejriwal is honest, he should sack his deputy chief minister.
Aam Aadmi Party workers protesting in Delhi and other places against the BJP over the arrest of Manish Sisodia. Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister was arrested by the CBI on Sunday.
CBI ED कुछ नहीं है, जो सब कुछ हो रहा है वो भारतीय जनता पार्टी के मुख्यालय से हो रहा है। वही लोग हैं जो बताते हैं कि आज इसको गिरफ्तार करना है, आज इसके ऊपर झूठा मुकदमा करना है, आज इन लोगों को पकड़ना है, और हम पूरे देश को दिखाना चाहते हैं किस तरीके से इन सभी एजेंसीज का दुरुपयोग हो रहा है।
Sisodia's arrest has united the opposition except for the Congress, which ironically finds itself on the same side as the BJP supporting the arrest.
Mr. Arvind Kejriwal, having taken oath under the Constitution, are you not supposed to abide with the law of the country? Is it not your duty to first of all sack the corrupt deputy CM, and then second, ensure that he cooperates with the investigating agency?
Many in the opposition say that they should unite to defeat the BJP in next year's election, even as Sisodia's arrest exposes the difficulties.
असल मुद्दा था, उससे जो है ध्यान तो भटका जिसकी जांच की मांग हो रही थी, जिस चीज को लेके, वो तो कौन होगी, और हमने तो कई बार बोला कि किस प्रकार से इन लोगों का इस्तेमाल किया जाता है, इसलिए इसमें कोई आश्चर्य होने वाली बात नहीं है।
However, Congress spokesperson and top advocate Abhishek Singhvi tweeted supporting Sisodia as a lawyer of his, calling his arrest an example of repeated, flagrant and shameless misuse of arrest power.
Most of the opposition parties have condemned the arrest of Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia and have flagged the alleged misuse of central agencies at the behest of ruling party in centre, while Congress has welcomed this arrest, again exposing the fault lines in the opposition unity. With camera person Sanjay Kaushik, this is Arvind Gunasekar for NDTV.
And expect lots more political developments and drama in 2023 because, of course, with 9 states voting this year, the political tension is high. So 3 states voting ended today. Tripura first last week, today Nagaland and Meghalaya, and the BJP focus has already shifted to state number 4. The Prime Minister was in Karnataka today, where elections will be held next. Besides inaugurating a new airport, he did a road show as well in the BJP bastion of Belagavi, where the Prime Minister effusively praised the ex-Chief Minister, the tallest BJP leader of the state, Yedurappa.
The first road show by Prime Minister Narendra Modi in the campaign for Karnataka, picking the BJP bastion of Belagavi district. Last time, the BJP won big here, 13 of the 18 seats in the 2018 elections. This time, it's left with no top leader from the Lingayat, a dominant community, and are banking on Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
बीते कुछ वर्षों में कर्नाटका का विकास अभिवृद्धि के रथ पर चल चुका है। ये अभिवृद्धि रथ प्रगति पथ पर दौड़ रहा है।
Nowadays in India, Modi is the face for everyone. So we are having Modi, a leader of not only India, a world leader. So we will manage it. I have that much confidence.
A series of setbacks has put the BJP on the back foot. The recent one being BJP's Lingayat strongman B.S. Yedurappa announcing retirement from electoral politics. Last year, we went on to see Minister Umesh Katti's death and also Deputy Speaker Anand Mamani's as well. Prior to that, in 2021, Ramesh Jarkiholi, a water resources minister, was forced to step down after being involved in sex for jobs scandal. And that has left a leadership void in the BJP.
The Prime Minister began the visit by meeting B.S. Yediyurappa and showering praise on him.
उन्होंने अपना जीवन गरीबों के कल्याण के लिए, किसानों के कल्याण के लिए समर्पित किया है। वो सार्वजनिक जीवन जीने वाले प्रत्येक व्यक्ति के लिए प्रेरणा है। सफलता की इस ऊंचाई पर पहुंचकर भी किस तरह व्यवहार में विनम्रता बनी रहनी चाहिए, उनका जीवन हमेशा हमेशा प्रेरणा देने वाला है।
The BJP's relationship with Yediyurappa is complicated. He's the strongest leader from the Lingayat community, a powerful section of the voters. The party replaced him as Chief Minister in 2021, as he was above its bar of 75 years old. Yediyurappa wanted his younger son, his political heir, to be in the BJP government which replaced his. That was denied. Now he's announced his son will get a ticket without a go-ahead from the party's top brass. In what appears to be a sweetener, Yediyurappa has declared he will not contest the upcoming elections. If he did, he would have been seen as a chief ministerial candidate. In Shivamogga, the Prime Minister opened the lotus-shaped airport in Yediyurappa's constituency, which is expected to boost connectivity to central Karnataka. This is Prime Minister's fifth visit to the pole-bound state. Today, he released the 13th installment of cash payouts of rupees 2,000 each to eligible farmers. That's more than 16,800 crores or over $2 billion, including to almost 2 lakh beneficiaries in Nagaland and 20,000 in Meghalaya, where voting was held earlier in the day.
Belagavi determines poll outcomes for the BJP. The region accounts for the highest population of the Lingayats, an influential community which constitutes nearly 17% of the Karnataka's population. However, the district has no Lingayat face and they are heavily dependent on central leaders. In Belagavi with Kumar Shrija for NDTV.
Well, in other news, the Air India CEO has spoken exclusively to NDTV on the airline's mega plans. He also talked about the infamous urination incident in the plane. He admitted that Air India should have done more, but he pointed out the degradation in passenger behavior, saying that our crew faces abusive behavior every day, suggesting that the no-fly rules need to be amended and much stricter.
In India, there is a very complicated process to suspend people from travelling, which is quite unusual compared to most of the world. And I think perhaps there should be a little bit more discretion left to the airline to unilaterally take decisions to deny someone carriage when they have, particularly when they've threatened crew, when they've threatened other passengers. I think as a society we perhaps need to take a look at this. A day goes by without us receiving some report from crew on behaviour on board the aircraft. And so much of it stems from people consuming alcohol before they even get on the aircraft, or them being upset when they're not continued to serve alcohol on board the aircraft. And in the vast majority of cases, the people that suffer the abuse, be it verbal, sometimes physical, are our crew.
That was Campbell Wilson. Watch that full interview at 10 o'clock. But in other news, the stock markets ended lower today for the 7th straight session. The Nifty falling again, ending at 17,392. The Sensex falling by 175 points, closing at 59,288. Metal and IT shares declined the most. The major reasons for the decline are the strong dollar and the US rate hike fears, which are denting investor sentiment. In fact, foreign institutional investors have sold over 6,500 crores in February. The rupee weakened by 9 paise, ending at 82 rupees 84 paise to the dollar. In other news, the mystery over the origin of the COVID-19 virus continues, but another US department, the Department of Energy, has in its assessment claimed that a laboratory leak is the most likely cause of the pandemic that caused lakhs of deaths across the world.
An accidental lab leak is what is most likely to have caused the coronavirus pandemic, claims a new report by the United States Energy Department. The report goes on to say it was not a case of animal to human transmission at a wet market in Wuhan, as suspected by many. Experts studying the cause of the coronavirus pandemic remain divided on the source of the virus. Speaking to the American broadcaster CNN, the National Security Advisor of the United States of America said that the intelligence community has not arrived at a conclusion on the origins of the coronavirus pandemic. The coronavirus pandemic, or the COVID-19 pandemic, caused 68,50,594 deaths worldwide. With Saurabh Gupta, this is Divya Vadva for NDTV.
Welcome to Left, Right and Centre. The exit polls are out and they show the BJP winning 2 of the 3 northeastern states, Tripura and Nagaland, to stay with the BJP, the NPP to emerge as the single largest party in Meghalaya. That's what the polls are saying. All eyes have been on these exit polls with these 3 northeastern states, Nagaland, Tripura and Meghalaya, 2 of whom voted today. And let's go across to Ankit. These states really small in size, but they have huge political relevance and huge political stakes. With all of those disclaimers that we want to put out right away about exit polls, what are the polls saying right now? In the poll of polls, what's the verdict?
Well, let me first start by telling our viewers, NDTV is not doing any exit poll. We are only sitting here telling you what other, in fact, news agencies and channels are putting out as their exit poll. And then we'll tell you what is the mean, the poll of poll, the average as far as these polls are concerned. The big picture, 2023, it's kick-starting the entire election season with these 3 election states, Tripura, Nagaland, Meghalaya. Tripura has already voted. Today was the turn of Meghalaya and Nagaland. And the polls, at least today, what they are suggesting at this moment is that, as Sarah told you, the Bharatiya Janata Party seems to be coming back in power as far as Tripura is concerned. A very, very important state and a closely watched fight, because whatever happens in Tripura will have a resonance in Assam and West Bengal as well, and of course the larger picture of 2024. Meanwhile, in Nagaland, it seems that it is going to be a comfortable victory for the Bharatiya Janata Party, the ruling alliance. The BJP, though, is only fighting the 20 seats, the 40-20 ratio between the alliance partner, the local party there, of course, the leading, the alliance partner. Meanwhile, in Meghalaya, this is where the best hopes as far as the TMC is concerned. In fact, the TMC, ladies and gentlemen, is hoping that it would be able to make big inroads as far as Meghalaya is concerned. But let's first give you some numbers. The numbers, in fact, for Meghalaya, this is the poll of the polls that you are seeing at this moment on your screens. Out of the 60 seats, the BJP and the majority mark is 31. NPP seems to be the single largest party with 20 seats that the NPP is expected to win as far as the poll of polls are concerned. So far, there are 3 news agencies which have conducted this poll. India Today, Times Now and Z Media. Those 3, in fact, news agencies suggest that the NPP is going to be the single largest party. And meanwhile, the BJP and NPP, which were in an alliance, in the last election, but fought the election separately, that in fact seems to be for the Bharatiya Janata Party. It won't be, the government will only be formed with both these alliance partners coming in together. Meanwhile, if you look at the graph of the Congress Party, which was 21 in the last assembly election, the Congress Party lost all its legislators to the TMC, and then some others went to other political parties. The Congress seems to be getting 6 down 15. Apart from that, the TMC is the party which is making some inroads, big inroads, as far as Meghalaya is concerned, but it's still far away as far as the majority is concerned. So the mean for the TMC, the average for the TMC is 11 seats, for the NPP 20, 17 to others. They might play a very, very important role as far as the elections are concerned. Meanwhile, the BJP and the Congress, two national parties, not getting much as far as both these states, at least Meghalaya, is concerned. So, Sarah, that is going to be a very, very interesting election and on second, the result to watch out for. But let's now talk about Tripura, the other big state where the Bharatiya Janata Party was in power. The BJP was hoping to make a comeback as far as Tripura is concerned. They had to change their chief minister just 6 months before the elections. And then, of course, the big factor of the left and Congress coming together. Arch rivals. The Congress and the left have been at loggerheads for last 25 years in the state of Tripura. This time, coming together, and then the X factor of Tripura Mota. So what does the numbers suggest at this moment? So the poll of polls at least gives a majority to the Bharatiya Janata Party. 35 is what the poll of polls suggest. Out of the 3 polls, there is only one which is showing the BJP little less than the majority mark. Rest, everybody taking it over the majority mark of 31 out of the 60 seats. So, the news, the bad news for the Congress continues. 0, a not for the Congress party as far as Tripura is concerned. They're fighting only 13 seats in alliance with the left parties. The left parties are down from their performance. At least the poll of polls will show you that. But the big factor, Tripura Mota, though performing well, but in the end, the BJP may not need any help as far as Tripura is concerned. Nagaland, the third state, that poll of polls suggests that the Bharatiya Janata Party, along with its alliance partner, is coming back to power with a comfortable majority. In fact, they're increasing their vote share and the number of seats. The Congress getting a few seats there. The NPF is also expected to get a few seats, but a clear majority as far as the BJP alliance is concerned in the state of Nagaland.
Ankit, hold on. Let's just quickly go across to the big story coming out of Tripura, and we have the Deputy Chief Minister of Tripura, Jishnu Dev Verma, joining us. Mr. Verma, first and foremost, Tripura exit polls. Thank you so much for taking out the time to join us. I'm sure you've taken a look at these exit polls, and they're predicting a BJP comeback, actually a historic repeat of that historic win. Your reactions, how are you all feeling right now?
Is that a question to me?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good evening. We have seen the exit polls and your poll of polls, and it shows that the BJP is coming to power on its own, and we are winning these elections on the strength of our work and the work we have done in the rural sector and the urban sector in the last 5 years, despite of the COVID pandemic, and people have reposed their faith once again in BJP and development.
Sir, what I want to understand from you, I mean, as we keep saying that the exit polls come with a caution. As far as the Tripura, the state is concerned, important for the Bharatiya Janata Party, multiple rallies by the Prime Minister as well. There seems to be, at least in the tribal areas, a massive inroads that have been made by the Tripura Mota parties. You may not need support, but if there is, because at least one exit poll, the Times now doesn't give you a clear majority. If there is a scenario where it is a hung assembly, are you open to an alliance with Pradyut Kishore Dev Burman, because you tried to get him in the fold even before the elections as well?
Let me tell you one thing, that we are going to come well over 40. And looking at exit polls, we don't decide alliances. We don't decide alliances looking at exit polls. And we'll be above 40. And second thing is that this is a very intriguing election where the left and the Congress tied up, and it was a non-starter from the beginning. And then came the Tripura Mota, which has a very limited appeal among the tribals, and they have made an inroad. It's nothing new. Earlier, CPM used to get about 19-20 seats of the ST constituencies. So this time, Tripura Mota has replaced them, that's all. And according to your alliance, because one channel has shown a little less, I think that is too early to say. Looking at exit polls, we can't decide on alliances.
But aren't you
and
worried?
I am very, very sure.
Aren't you
that we will
worried
not
the
require any
BJP,
help whatsoever.
the BJP and the Prime Minister is making such a strong pitch? I mean, if you look at the larger picture for 2024, as far as the tribal vote is concerned, we saw the Prime Minister, in fact, specifically appealing to the tribal voters to vote for the BJP.
We have the first woman tribal
Absolutely.
president
The president, you know, this is something that the BJP has been talking about. Aren't you worried if you are not able to reach across, your policies are not able to, the message is not able to go across to the tribal voters of Tripura? Don't you see that it will have an impact nationally as well, as far as the tribal votes are concerned, sir?
See, the tribal voters, there is always a space for regional party in Tripura. There is a space for regional parties in Tripura, and a regional party in Tripura is not something very new. We have seen regional parties come and go by the dozens. They don't last because they are demand-based parties. How long this experiment will last, I don't know. Eventually, as far as I know, and my experience in politics, eventually everyone will come under the development umbrella, because the tribal areas require speedy development. They require more power in the ADC, and in our manifesto we have said that the ADC area should be more developed, more speedily developed, more power should be given to these 6 scheduled areas. So there's nothing left that we have not decided for the our indigenous people. And BJP always takes along everyone in the development. That's why the Prime Minister appeals to indigenous people to come and walk with us on the road to development. And he has inspired a lot of them.
All right, Mr. Verma, I just want to ask you, when you accepted graciously our congratulations based on these exit polls, you said the BJP is doing well on its own. So what happens to your alliance with the IPFT, which you've gone into the elections with them, but you definitely needed them in the past term to cushion you, to make sure we don't have any defections. What happens now?
Let me tell you that we never ditch our alliance partners. It doesn't matter how much influence or influence they have or what vote catching power they have. They are our alliance partners. We have given them 5 seats, and let us have a look at the outcome. And so after that we will decide. But they are with us, and future course of action will be decided after 2nd.
Sir, I also wanted to very quickly, sir, just 2 quick questions. One, I wanted to ask you, do you think that Tripura Motha's entire campaign, very aggressive campaign for our greater Tripura land, it has somewhere, has an impact on the other voters, especially the Bengali-speaking voters, the counter-consolidation, that has helped the BJP to perform better in other, in fact, seats other than the tribal areas? Do you think that has worked in your favor?
See, we don't believe in the concept of polarization. And BJP, I have been with the BJP for a very long time, and we have not ever thought of building vote banks. We have always think that, votes should be given on the basis of the work the government does. And this is the first time in Tripura that the voters have seen that every minister gave his or her report card. The government gave the report card. All departments gave the report cards. This is the first time in Tripura that elections have been fought in such a transparent and such effective manner. So there is no question of they're polarizing and we are gaining for counter polarization. It is not that. The election results, as per the exit polls, are a clear reflection of the work that we have done in the last 5 years, despite of COVID, and the people's satisfaction with our work. That we have been able to do good work, and we have been able to make delivery to the last mile.
Okay, so if the exit poll turn out to be true on March 2nd, who's going to be the chief minister? Who's going to be your boss? Or are you going to be the boss and somebody else is going to be the deputy chief minister? Because the BJP has so far not announced who is going to be the chief minister of Tripura come March 2nd if the results hold. If the BJP has not announced, how do you expect me to announce on NDTV? I'm only expecting, what is your expectation, sir? I'm only hoping that you would be able to shed some light on what the party is thinking at this moment. Is Dr. Manik Saha going to continue as the Chief Minister?
The whole concept is that people don't understand the BJP. We work for the party and for a certain method of working and making last mile delivery. This is what we work for, not to become chief ministers or deputy chief ministers. All of us work together with one thing, single aim, that the party must win and win on our development achievements. And so it is inconsequential who becomes chief minister.
Thank you, Mr. Varma, for taking out the time. Enjoy your evening and soak in those exit poll results, and hopefully they don't change for you and your party on counting day. Thanks so much. Of course, that's the reaction, Ankit, we've heard so many times every election. But Ankit, I just want to quickly say, as we look at these exit poll results, we've been talking about how these are so important because they're setting the tone for the 2024 Lok Sabha elections. But I want to just touch upon the one factor that we think really stands out about the Northeast, that hopefully this will also set the tone for all these assembly elections that are coming up this year, and of course the 2024 elections. And I'm talking about the voter turnout. Consistently, no break from the past. We've seen a fabulous voter turnout, 82% in Nagaland, 74% in Meghalaya.
And expect this to, in fact, grow up a bit because the consolidation will happen, even in Tripura. The final numbers, they also add the numbers of the postal ballot. So you will see a slight, increment as far as these numbers are concerned, because these numbers are till 5 p.m. And usually in these states, there are a lot of people post 4 p.m. who are still inside the polling booth and casting their vote. So it will expect the numbers to go up as far as these numbers are concerned. That's a very, very healthy and at least something that North India should also learn from the Northeast, the high voter turnout in those states.
All right, should we shift focus now, shift gears to the other big story? We want to touch upon that also. That is, of course, the fact that Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister, Manish Sisodia, will now be in CBI custody till the 4th of March for questioning. That on the orders of a Delhi court, a CBI court. He was arrested yesterday, that's on Sunday, in connection with alleged corruption in the now withdrawn liquor policy of Delhi, and is now going to be in the CBI headquarters, in the custody of the CBI for the next 4 days.
So this is a big blow as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned, a huge blow to the party. The number 2, as far as the party is concerned, now in the CBI custody till 4th March. Very quickly, in fact, let's just tell our viewers what all happened today. The Aam Aadmi Party came out in huge numbers to protest, not only just in Delhi, but in other places as well. Key points as far as the alleged liquor scam is concerned, the CBI investigating the kickbacks to the tune of 30 crore rupees, and the draft note which was recovered from the computer of Mr. Sisodia, which shows the profit margin clause was changed from 5% to 12%. So all those points are being at this moment being investigated by the CBI. In fact, Manish Sisodia's lawyers tried to make a point. Mr. Dan Krishnan, who represented Manish Sisodia, also questioned the inability of the CBI, the grounds for remand. They said that there are no grounds for arrest, no grounds for remand. Their case, and I'm quoting him here, is that I did not confess. They expect me to answer the way they want. There cannot be self-incrimination. That is what the legal protection you get under the Indian law.
We have now joining us on left, right and centre, Manjinder Singh Sirsa, spokesperson, former MLA of the BJP, Abhinandita Mathur, spokesperson of the Aam Aadmi Party, Aman Lekhi, senior advocate of the Supreme Court, former additional Solicitor General, and Sujata Paul, spokesperson of the Congress. Perhaps we should start with the Congress, simply because we've now just gotten a reaction. We've seen a new fresh tweet from Jairam Ramesh of the Congress, and I think also Mr. Khadge, who has tweeted saying that the Congress is coming out in support of Manish Sisodia. Well, they actually haven't gone as far as to say that because they haven't taken his name, but they have said that they agree, and repeatedly they have said so in the past, that the BJP continues to use central agencies to crack down on opposition leaders. It has taken a good 12 hours, ma'am, for the Congress to come up with this statement. And I ask this because it comes at 24 hours after the Congress again made a pitch for opposition unity to take on the BJP.
Look, as far as the liquor scam is concerned, it is the Congress party which had broken it. So talking about it in this manner would not really serve the purpose. But of course, we know that the Bharatiya Janata Party has always come up heavily on the opposition because they want to suppress voices, and that is the way they work. So the fact is that if there has been a corruption, then that needs to be investigated. If you talk about the Aam Aadmi Party, they accused the Sheila Dikshit government of corruption, but were they able to prove anything? No. But when you talk about what is happening today in the country, it is surprising to see the manner in which the government goes after everybody. So it is selective targeting to destroy the opposition completely, and it wants just one party in this nation, which is not going to happen no matter how much they try.
Abhinanthi Mathur, you've worked closely with Manish Sisodia in several capacities as well. How big a blow is Manish Sisodia getting arrested? He was handling 18 of the 33 portfolios in the government of Delhi. While you make a political pitch about him being targeted, but Mr. Sisodia, after Mr. Satyendra Jain, now the two pillars of the Delhi model have been demolished by the agencies.
Yes, I don't think I can deny at all that this is a big blow for us. In fact, it is a big blow for Delhi and its citizens. Mr. Sisodia is a very precious leader. He's a very, very special human being. He's a very kind person, and he's also a very able minister. So certainly this loss is going to be felt by us. But having said that, we also believe in him. We think that he's a strong person and he will come out clean.
Ma'am, though Ms. Mathur, I just want to ask you, the charges made by the CBI in court today really about that draft policy, the change in the profit percentage from 2 or 5 to 12, there's really been no explanation though from the Aam Aadmi Party about responding to the CBI's charges, that there's no record of any conversation, any debate, any discussion as to how it went from 2 to 5. Can you add something on that?
Yes.
Shed some light on that?
Yeah, allow me to share our submissions to begin with. Look, we actually think that these are not, tenable enough grounds for arrest of Mr. Sisodia. Particularly if you look at, mostly we've spoken about this 5% to 12% hike. Now, in this case, it is the LG who approves the policy and then becomes the complainant. The note that was sent to the Honorable LG actually had this, this mark up from 5% to 12%. So certainly the LG was a part of that policy. The policy was also put in the public domain as it should be.
Fair enough, ma'am. That's what the lawyers
so I think that
pointed out in court, but it doesn't answer the question.
A fundamental thing here is that is what I'm saying. The fundamental thing here is that the basic grounds that have been, used to arrest Mr. Sisodia, according to us, are not tenable in law. Because, I'm repeating this, because the 5% to 12% was not done by only the elected government.
That wasn't the question in the first place, ma'am. The question was about, was there any discussion, as there is normally about policy in governance? Because the CBI claims there's no record of this.
Well, imagine if a file has gone to the Honorable LG and the dynamic between the Delhi LG and the elected government, there's obviously some either back and forth or discussion. He wouldn't do something he didn't agree with.
Okay.
I think
Let me get in Mr. Sirsa on this. But the fact remains, ma'am, that those grounds, the similar grounds have been raised today in the court, which have not been accepted by the court. And that is why Mr. Sisodia has been given the 5-day custodial interrogation to the CBI. And the fact also remains, even if you make an argument that it was sent to LG and LG approved it, that doesn't absolve a minister from doing whatever he's doing. You can make a charge that LG should also be made party as far as this case investigation is concerned.
Which is what they're saying. Why aren't questions asked against the LG? Let's ask Mr. Sirsa to come in on that.
Yes, that's the question, Mr. Sirsa, that the Aam Aadmi Party is asking. If the LG approved it and the LG is an appointee by the central government, Well, why aren't questions being asked of the former LG?
And the irony here, Mr. Sirsa, is the fact that this entire investigation was ordered by the LG, who the Aam Aadmi Party is saying is party to these decisions being made on this policy. In fact, not party. He has to sign off on it. So how can he be the complainant launching an investigation?
So it's a very interesting part of the debate. First of all, I must remind Ms. Mathur here that what is the main objection to this policy is that while this policy was drafted, there was no such clause that from 2% and from 5%, it will be statewide raised to 12%. Now, the important part of this is, who will get this 12% commission? Are those people are in a bidding mode? Will they come for auction?
Appointed by the centre. Did the LG clear off this policy or not? And why didn't he?
Please, Mathur, Miss, let me complete it. And have you been talking from last 10, 12 minutes? Nobody objected to it.
I'm not interrupting you.
Please.
I'm not the one.
No, I am, Sarah Jacob.
Okay,
I'm
so
asking you to stick to the... We're out of time, so I need you to actually just stick to the question. The question is, was the LG aware or not? You are asking these questions of the Aam Aadmi Party. Should these questions not be asked to the LG who is appointed by the centre?
No, that is the clear preview of the elected government to take a decision. If it is so, then why they were blaming that Sheila Dikshit is the culprit? Then it means that Lieutenant Governor has done wrong thing. Nothing was done by Sheila Dikshit. And why they are arresting, the Vigilance of Punjab is arresting a former minister there because
the Lieutenant Governor in that case was not the complainant.
But
that's a very interesting argument. You are saying that this is the purview of the elected government. Then sending teachers to Finland is also the purview of the elected government. Then why is the Lieutenant Governor coming in and stopping that order?
Lieutenant Governor
so
has never stopped
choose...
Lieutenant Governor can ask for a clarification, but Lieutenant Governor cannot stop your decision. And same is here, these asking for a clarification.
All the time.
There are multiple decisions which have been overturned by the Lieutenant Governor.
Yes.
If you want, I can list them.
That he can ask for a clarification. But it is not that it is a preview of the elected government.
So the Lieutenant Governor decided not to take any clarification on this policy.
Reason being because the point from 2% to 5% was not part of a draft policy. If you have heard about what CBI told in the court, it was later amended. And how it was amended? It was amended with a power which the Chief Minister says that I have constituted a three-member committee, high-powered ministerial committee, and they will take a decision. So it was without the consent of anybody. It was a mere decision of three ministers, which is Tinder Jain, Mr. Gehlot, Arvind Kejriwal, Manish Sisodia. So for what was the reason for
Abarindra Mathur, the fact remains that all these arguments now will be presented in front of the court. Neither you can give him a clean sheet nor the BJP can call him a convict till the time the court decides so. But the fact remains, ma'am, the fact remains that every time the question is asked of the Aam Aadmi Party on the liquor policy, the Aam Aadmi Party starts talking about Manish Sisodia, the great education reformer. Ma'am, this is just political optics, isn't it? He's not being questioned for his education policy. He's being questioned as the excise minister of Delhi.
Okay. One, I did not actually mention the education policy in this conversation. Other thing is that we must not lose sight of the fact that there is a larger political context in which all this is emerging, right? What we are seeing is, and why we call this selective vendetta, is because there are many allegations, and mind you, these are just allegations at the moment. There are many allegations on many politicians or many people, many officers and so on, or people. None of those allegations are pursued in the way that this particular case is being pursued. And again, I would like to repeat, it's so ironic that the person who signed off and who boasts of being the main administrator of Delhi becomes the complainant. This is a very unique situation. I am not denying that the investigation should happen, and we will fully cooperate. The only thing that we are trying to highlight here is that BJP is conveniently attacking the Aam Aadmi Party over one thing or another. Their narrative doesn't stick. Now they're using ED and so on. And this is for everyone to see. I don't think that, anybody would lose sight of the fact that there is a very, tense political atmosphere in the country today.
All right, thank you so much to all our guests. Sir, I'm completely out of time. I'm sorry, I will have to wrap this up because we'll
continue the discussion in the next hour. But for now, we just need to take a break. We'll come back to you for more on this.
co-presented.
When a glimmer of hope gave way to a new global threat, we were there. As our soldiers squared off against a hostile neighbor for yet another freezing winter, we were there. When brutality overwhelmed justice and a mockery was made of the rule of law, we were there. When the death of our first Chief of Defence Staff united our nation, we were there. Hope, justice, the truth. Left, right and centre with me, Vishnu Shobh, Monday to Thursday, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
Cross the distance between darkness and vision. Teach a generation that has lost all hope. Treat a patient from thousands of miles away. None of this was possible
till technology stepped in and made it possible. A selection of the finest stories from across the country where technology comes with a human touch.
Unleash your dreams with Snapdragon in collaboration with NDTV, only on the NDTV network.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love.
Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love. You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
Legacy is often seen as a burden of expectations. It comes with its own set of challenges. The challenge to take it forward, challenge to reimagine, challenge to be in the present, and also challenge to think about the future.
What accountability are you talking?
Welcome back. You're with Left, Right and Centre, and the top story right now, Delhi's Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia will be in CBI custody till the 4th of March for questioning. That on the orders of a Delhi court. That's a CBI court. Mr. Sisodia was arrested yesterday after 8 long hours of questioning in connection with alleged corruption in the now withdrawn liquor policy case. The agency told the court today that Manish Sisodia has been giving evasive replies to their questions, that he's failed to explain at least 6 contentious provisions in the liquor policy that were not part of the first draft. But Ankit, you know, it's interesting today. We saw that show of strength by the Aam Aadmi Party. They're certainly putting on a brave face, trying to say that, you know, this actually may serve them in an election year, because it really shows AAP as the only party that can take on the BJP in the elections. But there's no denying that this is a setback for the Aam Aadmi Party. How does this affect the Aam Aadmi Party to have their Deputy Chief Minister possibly out of action for the next few months, maybe even?
Well, this is going to be, I mean, a huge impact as far as the Aam Aadmi Party is concerned. And make no mistake, ladies and gentlemen, there is another cabinet minister of Delhi who is right now in jail, Mr. Satyendra Jain, the health minister. But Manish Sisodia's arrest is going to have a far larger impact on the Aam Aadmi Party than, in fact, Satyendra Jain itself. And why am I saying that? Because not only is he a very close aide of Arvind Kejriwal, he's de facto number 2 as far as the decision-making of the party is concerned. He has been with Arvind Kejriwal even before India Against Corruption or the Aam Aadmi Party took shape. He's been with Arvind Kejriwal through their NGO days from 1995. So the Deputy Chief Minister, the number 2, the man who was representing the government while Arvind Kejriwal was trying to expand the party all across the country, he was the one holding fort as far as Delhi is concerned. Now, Sisodia has been, remember, arrested in the alleged excise scam. Manish Sisodia the allegation is that he is somewhere of a mastermind, a criminal conspiracy, the fraud that he has committed on the exchequer, and that's why Mr. Sisodia at this moment is being questioned. There are others, those who are from the Aam Aadmi Party, because there are 2 parallel probes which are going on. One is of the CBI, the other is of the Enforcement Directorate, which has already taken in custody another Aam Aadmi Party functionary, Vijay Nair. Another close aide of Arvind Kejriwal, Bibhav Kumar, was also questioned by the Enforcement Directorate just a few days back. So somewhere the entire scam seems to be now coming to the doorsteps of the Delhi Chief Minister, and that is the reason why the Aam Aadmi Party would be more cautious, more worried as far as Manish Sisodia is concerned. Now, Manish Sisodia also holds, ladies and gentlemen, 18 of the 33 portfolios in the government of Delhi. So Mr. Sisodia's arrest is not only going to cripple the working as far as the government of Delhi is concerned, it would have an impact on the way Arvind Kejriwal envisages the entire role of the Aam Aadmi Party nationally. Sources close to Mr. Kejriwal had told us that he wanted to start a national yatra in the election-bound states with Manish Sisodia now under custody, and the expectation is that he's not going to come out anytime soon. It is going to impact the national expansion plans of the Aam Aadmi Party, and apart from that, the biggest dent would be the clean image of Arvind Kejriwal and the Aam Aadmi Party, which is going to take a beating.
All right, so perhaps an attempt to rob up of his anti-corruption plank, but let's just bring in our guests that we have on the show tonight, Ankit. We have Supriya Srinath, National Spokesperson of the Congress, Chairperson of the Social Media and Digital Platform. We have Dr. Rajdeep Roy, Lok Sabha MP of the BJP, Vice President of the BJP in Assam, and then we have Ghanshyam Tiwari, Spokesperson of the SP. Dr. Rajdeep Roy, first a question to you. Clearly, we've seen the opposition come together. Even the Congress was late to that story, but in the end coming on board to point out that yet again the BJP acts with alacrity when there are leaders in the opposition to charge them with corruption or to set the arms of the CBI and the ED on them. Unfortunately, in Assam, we saw that with Pawan Khera, and except for anyone from the BJP, they can switch parties, join the BJP, and suddenly all charges, all investigations, all probes against them go into cold storage.
Look, thank you for asking this question, and straight away I will take it up front. BJP is a party which is very decisive, which takes decision very fast. If you can go back to our days from 1980 or even before that, during the days of Janasangh even, I presume Bharatiya Janata Party is a party which takes decision very fast, on the job, on the button, always. And in situation
but
like
only
this,
against opposition leaders.
Let me finish. In cases where the interest of national interest comes up, cases of corruption comes up, Bharatiya Janata Party has been acting very fast and on the job always. You have made an insinuation that anyone coming to BJP, their cases are suspended or maybe no action is taken. You can look into the case of Shubhendu Adhikari. He has been cleared by the court as far as West Bengal High Court is concerned. So to paint the same brush for anybody who's coming from outside is not the right thing to do, as I think. And in this case of Manish Sisodia, this has been going on for at least a year and a half. He has been evading questions for a long, long time. And as you have yourself pointed out, there are 6 contentious issues, 6 policies which he has failed to answer. Why there were changes, and the Delhi liquor policy, which was brought in the month of November 2021, was all of a sudden scraped off by the time it was May 2022. And within a month of it, obviously CBI and ED and everybody acted on it. And if you make that insinuation, or other political party wants to say that please do not act on corruption, so the rules of the country will always be like this. If you want that, I have no other
right,
answers.
Sir, because you are from Assam, and before I go, Akshay Manate is also joining us on the broadcast. Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson, senior journalist Neerja Chaudhary also with us at this moment. Before I go to my other guest, very quickly, sir, you come from Assam. The Chief Minister of Assam, Himanta Biswa Sarma, when he was with the Congress Party, not even the chit fund scam, and there have been 2 other allegations which were made against him by the Bharatiya Janata Party till the time he was in the Congress Party. He switches to the BJP. The trail of the investigation right now seems to be heading nowhere.
You must be having a fair amount of idea that Dr. Himanta Biswa Sarma joined Bharatiya Janata Party in August 2015. The Sarda Narda case was being investigated from 2012-13. Himanta Biswa Sarma ji answered all the queries to the satisfaction of the investigating authorities. He was subjected to some sort of interrogation. He was cleared. And after that, after about a year or so, he joined the Bharatiya Janata Party, and rest, as you can say, is history. He is an active man on the street always, understanding the public pulse, and he has worked for the development of entire Northeast, not just Assam.
Okay. Supriya Sineth, the Congress party, since morning, in fact, there have been multiple opposition parties which have come out and supported or spoken against this arrest of Manish Sisodia. Finally, we have seen Mr. Jairam Ramesh and Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, though not naming Manish Sisodia, but coming out and issuing a statement saying that the agencies have been misused by the government, and this is also an example. Is there a dichotomy as far as the Congress party is concerned? And that is why it took a lot of time. When it comes to the opposition unity, the Congress president was making a pitch just 1 day back. But when it comes to the enforcement agencies or central agencies targeting the regional parties who are a challenge to the Congress party, the Congress doesn't seem to know how to, in fact, respond to that.
No, farthest from the truth. I absolutely dismiss your submission on this and your assessment. But to just answer an argument that has been made not in completion, B.S. Yediyurappa, Janardhan Reddy, Hemanta Biswa Sarma, Shaurya Doval, Jay Shah, Raghubar Das, Smriti Irani, Piyush Goyal, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, Lakshmikant Sharma, Suresh Saini, Narayan Rane, Mukul Rao. I mean, the list is endless. Vijay Jolly, the list, Chinmay Anand, Kuldeep Singh. The list is endless as far as people who once they join the BJP and go completely scot-free is concerned. BJP is a washing machine. जहां आकर सारे दाग धब्बे धुल जाते हैं. You join them, you are absolutely squeaky clean. The Prime Minister will hold B.S. Yediyurappa's hand in an election year and walk with him. The same Mr. Yediyurappa who had to resign because of corruption allegations. That set aside, I don't think there's any dichotomy at all. I mean, yes, the liquor policy did have some problems. It did raise questions that during the time when Delhi was struggling for oxygen, was this the priority? But to treat opposition leaders with the supreme command and authority of the pliable agencies, I think is absolutely wrong. And may I dare also say on your channel particularly, there are 10,000 instances which I can point out where these agencies need to head. Adani being one of them. You know, engulfed by charges of corruption, engulfed by charges of stock manipulation, Benami shell companies. Where are these agencies on issues like that? I mean, somebody should ask the question. He said the BJP acts with alacrity. Yes, it does. Only against the opposition members.
Ms. Srinath, nobody was arguing with you on that. But if I can just go back to the question that Ankit was trying to put across to you, is that there is a dilemma for the Congress. They could not openly come out to support Manish Sisodia on this because, in a sense, it does eat into your own votes and your support. You're competing directly with the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi. The problem, ma'am, we're asking tonight, what is the fallout of today's developments in a year when we have assembly elections coming up and we have general elections coming up next year? My question to you and Ankit, what Ankit was trying to ask you was really, does this not expose the difficulties of bringing together the opposition to take on the juggernaut of the BJP and Prime Minister Modi?
You've had the president of the Congress party issue a statement. You've had the general secretary in charge of communication issue a statement. I don't understand what is the dichotomy. Yes, because we are a political party and we take a considered view. We don't give knee-jerk reactions on which we have to do a U-turn. We take a considered view, we take a considered opinion. And may I also dare say, it's very fashionable for people to say how difficult it will. We will fight the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi. We will ask questions on the liquor scam. We will ask questions on what was the U-turn policy. But to treat politicians as criminals is what the BJP has resorted to. There should be fair probe. But this is not the way to treat opposition leaders. This is the way to treat, swindlers who are being named by global agencies.
Okay. Akshay Marathe, right. Akshay Marathe, because Manish Sisodia is in the eye of the storm today, there have been submissions made by the Aam Aadmi Party that there was no need for a custodial interrogation, that these are all fabricated charges. At least today, when these submissions were made in front of the court did not find much credence in what you were saying. He has been sent to 5-day to the 5-day CBI custody. Let the investigation get over. Why make political point out of this when the investigation is it's in this beginning phase?
Ankit, I don't think there is an iota of doubt in the mind of any Indian today that Mr. Manish Sisodia is a decent, honest human being. Across the country, Mr. Sisodia is known for his phenomenal work in the Delhi government schools, to the point that in the education sector across the country, no matter which corner of India you go to, people look up to Manish Sisodia as the beacon of hope for government schools in this country. What message the BJP has given today is that no matter how much you serve your country, no matter how hard you work for the children of your country, if you don't align with us politically, we will destroy your life, we will ruin your career, we will harass your family, we will take you away from your sick wife and make you rot in jail just for being politically opposed to the Bharatiya Janata Party. That is the message that the BJP
But the
is
questions
trying
are
to send out
not
today.
asked of the Education
And
Minister
Ankit,
of Delhi. The questions are to the Excise Minister of Delhi. Let's make that distinction, because every time the question is asked on the excise policy, you start telling about, repeating the achievements of Manish Sisodia as the Education Minister.
Ankit, we have to understand why Mr. Sisodia is under the scanner. He's under the scanner because he's the lieutenant of Arvind Kejriwal. He is the lieutenant of Arvind Kejriwal who has displayed an amazing, phenomenal performance in education, which is very closely associated to the brand of Mr. Kejriwal. That is why Mr. Sisodia is being targeted today. It is not because of some excise policy. If the policy was a problem, if there was any issue with the policy, how is it that the same policy implemented in Punjab is creating 40% surplus extra revenue for that state, but in Delhi, the Lieutenant Governor scuttled it from day one and we were forced to withdraw it? It is not a problem with the policy. Okay. It is a problem with the intention of the central government, which is trying to persecute, humiliate, and harass opposition parties because they cannot digest that there is another party which is giving hope to the people of India.
All right. We also have Krishank Mane, spokesperson of the BRS, joining us. As we heard Akshay Marathe talk about the message that the BJP is sending out to opposition leaders. Is the BRS worried? I think I read somewhere some BJP leader saying that Ms. Reddy is going to be arrested next. What's the strategizing going on in the BRS right now? So I think you need to unmute yourself.
Every day the BJP state president or any BJP union minister from Delhi comes, visits Telangana and threaten our Telangana chief minister to be present soon. So we are not afraid of this threatenings by Bharatiya Janata Party. But my question is, have we seen any BJP leader who've been tainted with corruption charges being arrested? No arrest at all. They've spoken about, inquiries. You take any name, take Suvendu Adhikari, or you take Sujana Ramesh from down south, or Sujana Chaudhary, Ramesh, many leaders. But none of them have been arrested. But you see from Shiv Sena, there is an arrest. From any party, the recent Aam Aadmi Party, every political party of the opposition are being arrested. Why? Why this branding of arrests? Because they want to be tainted by the Bharatiya Janata Party as the corrupt just before polls. And that too, we have polls in Telangana. They are calling it as a South group. Why? Because Bharatiya Janata Party is finding it difficult to enter South. Okay. So definitely they will come up with many allegations. But only point is Ankit. You see Morbi. We have seen Morbi. We've seen the deaths, no arrests. We've seen the Gujarat dry state, so-called dry state, 75 deaths, no arrests. Okay. We've seen many scams. In fact, the recent scam also. But if there is a documentary, you see police barging in, you see ED, IT barging in and snatching away journalists' phones just because they have telecasted a documentary. Those are Indian journalists.
All right. Ghanshyam Tiwari of the Samajwadi Party also with us. Mr. Tiwari, the Samajwadi Party, very quickly, Mr. Akhilesh Yadav, since yesterday has tweeted not once but twice in support of Manish Sisodia, calling this arrest unjust. So this also somewhere, I mean, if you look at it, when the raids were conducted in Raipur ahead of the Congress Party's plenary session, the Samajwadi Party kept quiet, but with the Aam Aadmi Party, because possibly there is no direct contest in Uttar Pradesh, the Samajwadi Party did extend their support.
Good evening, Ankit, to you, Sarah, the co-panelists, as well as the viewers. If you look at some of the headlines that emerged from the state of BJP, PM Modi's new Council of Ministers, 42% have criminal charges. BJP has the infamy infamy to give India more than 100, not 1, 2, 100 members of parliament with criminal charges in the current sitting. The previous sitting, they had nearly 100. In Uttar Pradesh alone, they have more than 100 MLAs with criminal charges. And if you just take any state on the map of India where BJP has a member of parliament, chances are whether they have a class 12 certificate or not, they will have criminal charges. This is the state of Bharatiya Janata Party. And this is a party that will allow the real killers of Morbi to walk away. The state where the Prime Minister and Mr. Amit Shah comes from. That will allow the murderers and rapists of Bilkis Bano to walk away. That will allow the conspirators behind the 12 lakh crore ghotala that is coming out of the Adani tumble to walk away. This is the Adani yug of politics.
You are speaking on
we'll come back to you, sir, but let's just get Neerja Chaudhary in first.
You are trying to create a world which does not exactly exist.
No, sir, you'll have to answer how exactly it doesn't exist, because these are charges made by all opposition leaders. So we'll come back to you in a second, but let's get Neerja Chaudhary. Go ahead, Ghanshyam. Please let Ghanshyam finish, sir.
Can the BJP spokesperson? It's a very straightforward question to the BJP spokesperson.
Yeah.
Can he name any 3 education ministers from BJP states? The BJP has had more education ministers than the number of dresses probably Prime Minister wears in a day.
Okay.
This is the level of importance that
Neerja Chaudhary's been waiting, and she's been waiting patiently. I just want to get her in before we go across to you, Mr. Roy. You can compose your response till then. Neerja Chaudhary, the point right now, what the AAP had, and ironically, AAP has been a party that has come to power because it has been putting allegations of corruption against other parties. Here you have the BJP perhaps taking a leaf out of the AAP's book. Can they make these charges stick? Is there an attempt to rob the AAP of this anti-corruption plank, and does clearly a divided opposition means advantage BJP? Neerja Chaudhary.
2 questions you've asked me. The first is, of course, as far as the charges are concerned, the courts will decide on the veracity of those charges. We don't know. Number 2, what we do know is that the AAP has been a rising political force in power in Delhi, in power in Punjab, where the people of Punjab rejected the old and jaded politics of the Congress, the BJP, the Akali Dal, and gave up an unprecedented 92 seats. You know, for the first time in 4 decades. So, and it broke new ground in Gujarat when the Congress had given up. So AAP is seen as a rising force. Now it is also true that there is a shared experience of all opposition parties that the BJP government has been targeting opposition leaders using ED and CBI. It's not targeting its own people or its allies. That is a fact. Therefore, how do the people view this? Will they be sympathetic to Mr. Sisodia, to Mr. Kejriwal, to Aam Aadmi Party? Or will they view it as, you know, the earlier image of AAP getting dented now with these corruption charges? I think much depends on what is how the people view it. As far as the opposition unity is concerned, many of the opposition parties, because they have this shared experience of being targeted by ED and CBI, they have slammed, they have condemned what is happening, the arrest of Mr. Sisodia. I find the Congress's stand very confusing. I want to ask this, you know, the Delhi unit in the morning takes of the Congress takes a certain view, and Jairam Ramesh in the evening takes another view. Is Jairam Ramesh's statement to be seen as overruling the views of the Delhi unit of the Congress party? Because, you know, if the Congress party, as Mr. Kharge, the Congress president, has said, that Congress will lead the opposition in the 2024 elections, if the Congress expects other parties to follow it, then should the Congress not stand by other parties in the opposition when they are in trouble?
Okay.
Now, that is a question many people will
it's
ask.
the same question actually which has come round to you. So please respond to what Neerja Chaudhary is saying, and then of course we'll go to Mr. Rajdeep Roy.
I think the stance is not just coming in from Mr. Jairam Ramesh, who's the General Secretary Communication and in charge of communication, communicating the stand of the Congress party. It's also a stand that the Congress president has taken. So there should be no ambiguity as far as the Congress party is concerned. I stand by what my Delhi unit is asking questions on. I stand by what the Delhi unit is essentially saying about the liquor scam. But that should be probed. Why are you declaring people villainous and guilty before the probe has happened? And is this the way to treat elected representatives? And especially because they belong to the... Could these questions not be asked without the custodial arrest of Mr. Sisodia? These are the questions that we are asking. I mean, and quite frankly, it is also upon the Aam Aadmi Party to decide today that every time the Congress leadership was attacked and the entire opposition stood with us,
True.
AAP did not squeak a word. And here we are taking a stand and saying what's happening to them is wrong. It's also for them to learn a lesson that in the opposition unity lies the future of India's politics, not by being Team B of the BJP that they very often want to be.
And you know, especially, and we'll go to Akshay post that, but Mr. Rajdeep Roy, you heard the entire spokesperson of the opposition parties. The BJP, when the UPA was in power, BJP flew away with what the court had said when it called the CBI a caged parrot. But when now the BJP, almost the same assertions are being made on the Bharatiya Janata Party, the BJP hides behind the fact that this is the law taking its own course. In many of these cases, and may I remind you what happened with Mr. Sanjay Raut of the Shiv Sena, of the Uddhav Thackeray Shiv Sena faction, the court, the enforcement directorate case was completely trashed by the court. They said that there was no need for an arrest. You can't hide behind the fact that we'll put people in jail and then let them go and get bail from the court, sir.
This happens with every opposition leader.
As far as the opposition is concerned today, I presume that they are in a house of uncertainty. Once the great Saint Ramakrishna Paramahansa said in Bengali, "Joto mot toto pot," which means there are so many prime ministerial aspirants in the opposition as there are parties in it. So leaving that aside, I'll not try to take a stand. Today, Manish Sisodia gives an impression that they are holier than thou. And parties like AAP, with an abysmal track record of law and order and development issues in Uttar Pradesh, has come to his defense. Congress is in utter sense of disarray. The leaders do not know which way to look as far as the Manish Sisodia issue is concerned. Now, if they support Manish Sisodia, they are Team B of Kejriwal. If they do not support, they are not a part of the opposition unity. As far as TMC is concerned, they are maintaining a safe distance from Rahul Gandhi also and Kejriwal also. As far as your allegation is concerned, that using ED and CBI as a caged parrot, it is very important to understand that the number of cases of corruption that came up in the opposition-ruled states needs to be adequately handled by those investing agencies which have been given a free hand.
There is a 400% rise in the enforcement directorate cases. There has been a 400% rise in the enforcement directorate cases since the time the BJP or Prime Minister Modi has come to power, and the conviction rate of the enforcement directorate is less than 0.5%, sir. Is it not that the agency, these numbers don't tell you that the agencies are just being utilized to trouble the opposition?
When Congress was in power during the 10 years between 2004 to 2014, the number of cases against total number of 70% of the cases were against the BJP leaders.
So basically you are admitting if the Congress has done that, then what you are doing is also right. Is that the argument that you are making right now?
Can I please make a small point?
Supriya, go ahead.
Go ahead, Supriya.
Please understand one thing. This is no longer just... Your time is over, sir.
We have only said, let the law take its own...
Okay, you made your point, sir. Supriya, Carry on.
Is a culprit, but he needs to be investigated. He needs to answer the question.
Supriya Srinath, hold on. Mr. Roy, Supriya Srinath was raising a point in her earlier answer. The point is, if these are true, and this is true, does Manish Sisodia really need to be in the custody of the CBI authorities for 5 days for it? He's not a flight risk. You can take away his passport. He is the Deputy Chief Minister.
Rule cannot be different from person to person.
But based on what grounds? The CBI claims today in court that he's not cooperating, but that is a matter of opinion, sir.
Can I please make a point? It's silly to have this show without us making a point and one man arguing, quite frankly.
Okay, Supriya, go ahead.
We haven't gone to Mr. Roy any more than we've gone to you, Ms. Srinath, but you will get a turn. You will get a turn, but please.
Let us not get carried away by just the opposition.
You have to give me an uninterrupted way.
Supriya Srinath, you need to hold that thought, please, ma'am. Let Mr. Roy finish and we'll come to you.
Obviously. What I said is, you cannot run away from answering questions. For the last 1 year almost, you have not answered 6 questions.
Can I respond?
No.
Question to the Aam Aadmi Party.
This is not
Mr. Hold on. Supriya, please hold on. Supriya, hold on.
On 18th of February, if on 18th of February he was called, he had asked for a week's time to set the Delhi budget in place. He was given that time.
Yes, he was. If the CBI had any issues with that, they shouldn't have. And it's unfair. Please do not use this platform to go on saying it's been a year of an investigation. It has been 5 months. The CBI has not moved on this case. They have interrogated him twice. This is the second time they've interrogated him. He's not even named in the charge sheet, Mr. Roy. So please.
He had to answer the question. He is the excise minister of the country. You have to understand that.
He doesn't. Does he need to be in the custody of the CBI in order to answer the questions? Akshay Marathe, go ahead, and then Supriya Srinath will come to you.
You need to answer that.
Because he has raised allegations about Mr. Sisodia. Let AAP respond, and then we can come to you, Ms. Srinath. We will come to you. We will come to you. We will come to you in a second, Ms. Srinath. Hold on. After Akshay Marathe.
There's come a point where the facts of this one case need to be zoomed out of. In the 10-year history of the Aam Aadmi Party, Mr. Sisodia is not the first leader who has been harassed in this manner. Mr. Satyendra Jain has been in jail for the last 10 months and not a shred of evidence has been presented in court. Mr. Sisodia himself was raided by the CBI way back in 2016 and that case has not come to fruition at all. More than 150 cases have been filed by the Bharatiya Janata Party-led Delhi Police, CBI, ED, and other investigating authorities against Aam Aadmi Party leaders. And out of them, 135 cases, the courts have already acquitted our leaders. So the track record has to speak for itself. We can't keep on debating every time BJP says Aam Aadmi Party has done this corruption scam. So everybody starts debating that scam. Arey Baba, what happened to all the other times you have made allegations? How is it that the courts don't accept a single one of those charges and acquit the leaders of the Aam Aadmi Party? But every day we're supposed to believe.
Meanwhile,
today a new scam has come up. So let's talk about this new scam.
Okay, Supriya Srinath.
The floor is yours, Ms. Srinath.
Thank you very much for giving the floor to me. It is not about, let us not be misled by the BJP. It is not just about the opposition. They train their guns and they send agencies which have really become frontals of the BJP against a 21-year-old climate activist. They send it against civil rights activists. They send it against ex-bureaucrats. They send it against ex-judges. They send it against media. They send it against everybody who will ask some tough questions of this government. And this high-handedness is what we are calling the new model of democracy that Modi Shah are trying to rule this country with. Are you going to run away from the fact that you went chasing a 21-year-old climate activist and you had to be put a rap on your knuckles by the court of this country who said there is no case? And case after case, the court is acquitting opposition leaders, it is acquitting media persons, it is acquitting civil rights activists, and you are the ones going after them. You did not even, damn it, spare the BBC. What are you talking about? You are thin-skinned, you are vindictive, and you absolutely want to smother democracy at any given point that you have power in your command. That's your true culture.
The Prime Minister, just a few days back in the Rajya Sabha, when he was speaking, he made that point. At that, he said that the Enforcement Directorate has brought all the political parties together. while the BJP was in applause, many see this as an admission by the government of India that how the agencies have been used to or have been utilized to browbeat the opposition in this country. That debate is still on. I'm sorry, I'm completely out of time. I'll have to leave it there. A quick break. We'll also come back on the other side. Thank you so much to all our guests for being so patient and being with us on this broadcast. On the other side, we'll shift focus once again to the big poll of polls. What's the picture, big picture that is emerging from the exit polls of the three northeastern states, Tripura, Meghalaya and Nagaland? That coming up after a short break. Stay tuned.
Co-presented.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it. News that informs and inspires.
The news with Sonia Singh. Monday to Friday at 8 p.m. only on NDTV 24/7.
The only side we're on is yours.
When a glimmer of hope gave way to a new global threat, we were there. As our soldiers squared off against a hostile neighbor for yet another freezing winter, we were there. When brutality overwhelmed justice and a mockery was made of the rule of law, we were there. When the death of our first Chief of Defence Staff united our nation, we were there. Hope, justice, the truth. Left, right and centre with me, Vishnu Shom, Monday to Thursday, 9 p.m. on NDTV 24/7.
Cross the distance between darkness and vision. Teach a generation that has lost all hope. Treat a patient from thousands of miles away. None of this was possible
till technology stepped in and made it possible. A selection of the finest stories from across the country where technology comes with a human touch.
Unleash your dreams with Snapdragon in collaboration with NDTV, only on the NDTV network.
Gadgets 360 is here to help you with all your tech needs.
Gadget 360, Gadget Love.
Gadgets 360, Gadgets Love.
You too can get some gadget love with buying guides, expert reviews, and all the latest news on Gadgets 360.
Legacy is often seen as a burden of expectations. It comes with its own set of challenges. The challenge to take it forward, challenge to reimagine, challenge to be in the present, and also challenge to think about the future.
What accountability are you talking about?
As long as the core values and principles remain uncompromised. Debates are essential not just for journalism, but for humanity. It ignites our mind, opens it up for counter-opinion. To hear all views, opinion of all hues. Which is why the oldest running debate show on Indian news television is not 22 years old, but it is young at 22.
इस इनिशिएटिव को मैं अभिनंदन करता हूं कि सच को सच के रूप में पेश करने का उन्होंने साहस दिखाया.
So let us begin the big fight.
This is NDTV. No noise, no shouting, and most importantly, no lies. Our lead story tonight. Big international story. India is closely watching it.
You're still with left, right and centre. Let's shift gears back to that top story. What was to be the story of the day, those the voting taking place in those two states and the exit polls coming out that I think are showing the BJP winning 2 of the 3 northeastern states, Tripura, Nagaland, to stay with the BJP. What's going to happen? Ankit, take us through these exit polls. What are the main takeaways? What is it showing us?
All right, so let's just go through the numbers. And remember, just a word of caution, NDTV does not do any exit polls. We are only telling you the mean of all the exit polls which are taking place on other news channels. So 4 to 5 exit polls have come out. Let's first talk about Tripura. In fact, in Tripura, the poll of polls suggests out of the 60 seats, the majority is 31. The BJP seems to be getting through the majority mark, getting over the majority mark on its own, along with its ally, IPFT. In fact, 32 seats for the Bharatiya Janata Party, though 12 seats less than what it got last time, but still the BJP seems to be making a comeback in the crucial state of Tripura. Congress, the performance is stable, 0 last time, 0 in 2023 as well, 2020, and the left parties, which in fact fought in alliance with the Congress party, 47 out of 60 seats. The left seems to be getting 15 seats. The X factor in this election was Pradyut Dev Tripura Mota, which seems to be getting out of the poll of the polls 12 seats, and the others are getting 1 seat as well. In fact, this seat, if I'm not mistaken, is somebody who is supported by the Bharatiya Janata Party, so this will largely is going to go to the BJP as well. Overall, the picture of Tripura suggests in the poll of the polls is that the BJP is expected to make a comeback. Let's now, in fact, talk about the other big state, the Meghalaya. Numbers, the poll of the polls in Meghalaya, 60 seats, 59 went to polls today. That suggests because on 1 seat, the candidate had passed away, and that is why the election could not take place. The Bharatiya Janata, the NPP is emerging as the single largest party as far as Meghalaya is concerned, with 20 seats in the state. The TMC, which was hoping that would be able, the TMC would be able to get better numbers than Tripura here in Meghalaya, seems to be performing well. Mukul Sangma leading the TMC there, 11 seats coming to the TMC. Meanwhile, the Congress party is down to 6. Remember, it was 21 MLAs of the Congress party which went to the TMC and then to other political parties as well, completely fractured. So 6 to the Congress party. The Bharatiya Janata Party also expected to win 6, 4 up from last time. They had 2 seats in the last election. So the big picture, this could be, in fact, the state where it is heading towards a hung assembly. Will the Even if, if the poll of the poll does come true, if these numbers stay true, then NPP and the BJP together also will be short of the majority mark of 31. It is going to be a very, very interesting state, and that's where the others, 17 of others who are winning this time, could actually be the kingmakers as far as the government is concerned. Let's very quickly talk about Nagaland, the only state in the country whose assembly doesn't have an opposition at this moment. The Nagaland, the BJP NDTV alliance comfortably cruising over the majority mark at 42. They are adding at least 12 seats to their tally of last time. The Congress was 0, may get 1 seat. NPF, the Naga People's Front, 6 seats minus. So they are basically from the single largest party last time coming down to 6, others 11. So the Bharatiya Janata Party seems to be winning the Christian majority state of Nagaland as well, in fact, Sarah.
All right, should we go and get in our guests right now? We have Amitabh Tiwari, political strategist and commentator, Patricia Mukim, editor of the Shillong Times. Amitabh Tiwari, to you.
Okay, just give us a moment. In fact, before we go to our guest, it's just not the election results right now and who is going to rule the 3 states. This is the beginning of the long election season, and this will have indications and impact on the national picture as well, Sarah. So let's very quickly give our viewers a brief of how it may impact the state elections of the results of these 3 states may impact the big scenario of 2024. It is being seen as the semi-final. The entire 9 states would be seen as the semi-final, of which we are starting with these 3 states. 9 states are going to be going to polls in 2023. 3 already done with Tripura, Meghalaya and Nagaland. Now, the results of these states will have an impact for the national parties, of course, in the next 6 states that are Karnataka, where there is a direct fight between the BJP and the Congress. Rajasthan, again BJP and Congress. Madhya Pradesh, also a bipolar fight between BJP and Congress. Chhattisgarh, Congress and the BJP. Telangana is going to be interesting with the BRS's national plans, and then, of course, Mizoram as well. 4 states, direct contest in 4 states, as I mentioned. Apart from that, the big question would be, can the Congress hold on to the 2 states which the Congress is already in power, Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh? Can the BJP beat the anti-incumbency in Karnataka and MP is going to be the big question in the road ahead to 2024. Telangana, KCR with his national ambition, can he withstand the Bharatiya Janata Party surge? That is going to be an important question for Telangana when the elections do take place there. The results of 2023 are being seen as the tone-setting elections for the big battle of 2024. Remember, these 9 combined states send 116 MPs to the Lok Sabha, with Madhya Pradesh with maximum 29, Karnataka 28, Rajasthan 25, Telangana 17, Chhattisgarh 11, Meghalaya 2, Tripura 2, Nagaland, Mizoram 1 each. The Bharatiya Janata Party, at least at this moment, holds 95 of these 116 seats. Can the Congress and the local satraps change the trend and turn the tables?
All right, many questions joining us on the show to answer some of them, hopefully. Amitabh Tiwari, political strategist and commentator, and Patricia Mukhe, editor of the Shillong Times. Mr. Tiwari, to you first. So the BJP, it seems, as per these exit polls, with all their caveats, is set to hugely expand its footprint in the northeast, posting a victory in Tripura. What are the main takeaways or the lessons from this, if these polls are to be believed, for the opposition?
See, BJP clearly establishes itself as the only or the primary national party in the Northeast. It shows that the 2018 results were not a fluke. Left is going to be, or rather faces extinction in one more state. It is going to probably become the number 3 player in a state of Tripura after West Bengal. Congress is faring very poorly across all the states. TMC seems to be making significant dent in Congress's vote share in Meghalaya. What is working for the BJP is, of course, a split of opposition votes in Tripura, because it seems that the Tripura Moth, which is the party formed by the Royal, is not denting BJP, but it seems to be denting the left and the CPM alliance in the ST reserve seats, with IPFT still holding on to its performance in 2018. Nagaland, anyways, as Ankit said, is an opposition-less state. Congress and NPF did not even have 60 candidates to put up in the assembly elections. Meghalaya always has thrown a hung assembly, except for its first assembly election in 1971. So it continues with its tradition, and it remains to be seen whether UDP plus TMC plus Congress outwit NPP and BJP. So, and as Sarah, these are exit polls.
Yeah.
Here, the contests are very close in nature. In all the states in 2018, 20 to 30 seats, 40% to 50% seats are won on less than 1,000 vote margin.
Right. Ms. Mukim, because you've been closely watching these elections, first of all, may I ask you, are these exit polls or the poll of the polls, is it something that you also saw this kind of a picture emerging, when you were in fact traveling and tracking these elections? And secondly, does it also in a way, give a bigger picture for the Bharatiya Janata Party, which rules on a very different narrative when the hinterland, when the main, North India, the Hindi-speaking belt is concerned, and is able to change its colors when it goes to Christian majority states like Nagaland or Meghalaya?
You're asking me?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I don't think religion played quite a big role this time. Maybe in the earlier years, yes. But now there is a certain acceptance that this is a national party. It has been working here for the past 5 years with the other coalition partners. And therefore, it's not such a big deal. Although the churches have been quite wary about what's happening in Assam, the demolition of some of the churches in so-called disputed areas. But it does not seem to have played any role in shaking the imagination of people. Besides, I think a lot of the people who traverse through Assam, they are seeing development up close, and they believe that perhaps if the BJP has a bigger role to play in these states of Meghalaya and Nagaland, where development is not visible at all, then perhaps maybe these states also can have better development. And there is somehow there is this belief that the BJP has been sending a lot of their ministers here to monitor projects, to monitor the Jal Jeevan mission, although these projects hardly work beyond certain spaces. The rural spaces are still very, very backward. They are as they were 50 years ago. But the fact that ministers come and go, I think creates some kind of traction in the minds of people while they vote. But I'm sorry to see that the exit polls have not mentioned the United Democratic Party, which is quite a force in the state of Meghalaya. It cannot just be considered the others, you know. It's a force, and it has been in the government with the NPP, the BJP in the last 5 years, and it may get about maybe 8 to 10 seats this time. It will be a major factor in government formation. So to just discard it as the other is not practical.
All right. Staying with Meghalaya.
Also, I need to make this point that the RSS has been playing a very silent but major role in in the states of Nagaland and Meghalaya, and they've made more traction in Meghalaya than in Nagaland.
So, very, very interesting. In fact, you know, Sarah, like you were also asking, can I just very quickly, in fact, Ms. Mukim, ask you this, because, you know, you are in Shillong. If it's a hung assembly again, NPP leading, BJP, you know, getting, let's say, 6 seats, do you see once again the same coalition being repeated? Because we have seen that NPP doesn't go for pre-poll alliances, but post-poll, they're open to business with anybody.
Yeah, so there's been a lot of name calling between the BJP and the NPP, but we all knew that this was just, you know, some sort of an electoral show. And I think they're comfortable with each other, because which other coalition can you look at? I don't think the TMC would want to join or have any traction with the BJP unless a section from the TMC breaks away, which is, I don't know, hardly unlikely. or hardly likely. So it will be NPP, BJP, UDP yet again, and maybe some smaller partners.
Well, they say you can't, you know, politics leads to strange bedside partners, so you never rule out NPP,
when
BJP
Mr.
coming
Amit Shah
together again
came
after.
Here, no, when Mr. Amit Shah came here, he gave us a very, very horrific certificate saying Meghalaya is the most corrupt state in the country. And then, of course, he threw all the blame at the NPP. He called it a dynastic party and all that. But they don't have any qualms about coming together now. I don't know how they'll explain this to the public.
Worse has been explained by our politicians in the past, Miss. Oh, all right, Mr. Amitabh Tiwari, one last question to you. You mentioned, as we were talking about in Tripura, how the TMC has actually been eating into the Congress's vote, right? This would lead to the same arguments that the Congress has been throwing, leveling at the TMC, that they are the B partner of the BJP, trying to really, they did this in Goa and it ate into the Congress's votes. I ask you this question in the context of what this means for opposition unity. What is the opposition likely to learn from these lessons as we go into a critical general election year?
See, the opposition is not likely to learn much lessons, and I believe 100% opposition unity is a myth. So with these elections, if TMC does relatively well, it is likely to go solo. And the current alliances of Congress with the UPA, and with the addition of 2 more parties, which is JDU and a faction of the Shiv Sena, which is Uddhav Thackeray, these 2 have joined the UPA. So on 350 odd seats, UPA was number 1 and number 2 in 2019 Lok Sabha election. So that is around 65% of the total seats. And on 35%, which is UP, Bengal, Odisha, Andhra, Telangana, I don't think there is likely to be any opposition unity. And Kerala, of course.
Just one more question. We've talked about how the Congress could be heading to perhaps its biggest setback in the Northeast. How exactly has the TMC done overall? Because they're also trying to expand their national footprint. And these elections, these assembly elections are very crucial for the TMC too.
There is this sense that the TMC is an outsider party. I don't know why. And it's amazing that especially the Bengali population, largely settled in Shillong, are so anti-TMC. I mean, it's difficult to explain. And they say whatever it is, the TMC is okay in West Bengal, but not in Meghalaya. And that kind of campaign has played a role in the Khasi Jaintia areas. But the TMC seems to be doing well in the Garo Hills. So there is this divide, there is this divide in the sort of an ethnocentric divide, even in our understanding of political parties. Okay. And here, the point is that people don't vote political parties. They don't vote ideology. They vote personalities.
Candidates.
So it's always been difficult to predict, results.
That is why, individuals are very important as far as the elections in these states are concerned. And that is also somewhere that it becomes easy for them to switch from one political party to other because they are not dependent on that political party's flag or symbol to win the elections. Thank you so much to both our guests for joining us and, giving us some more perspective as far as these three states are concerned. That's all the time that we have in this edition of Left, Right and Centre. News and updates will continue on NDTV. At this moment, thank you so much. Good night.
Good night.